Welcome back to another episode of the Ministry of Truth. I am your only host on this show, and I will always be your only host on this show until I get canceled. And then, I'll show up again on another channel, which I have to make right now. Maybe I have one, maybe I don't. It doesn't really matter. But good morning, Juniper. Yes, technically you're second because I was here first. Anyway, got a little bit to go over today. We're going to do couple news segments that I thought were a little interesting. We're going to go over a congressional committee hearing with Kash Patel, and let's just say some people shouldn't be in Congress, but I'm glad people like Kash Patel have called him out like we've done many, many times in our brains and on my show. So this should be fun. But before we get started, everybody, we got to start off with a good morning song. So what I want y'all to do is while this song is playing, I want you to go get your cup of coffee. I've already had one. And if you so happen to go to Starbucks, ask for a mint majesty tea with 2 honeys. And then when they ask for your name, tell them Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was his favorite drink. He drank like 9 a day by his own admission. Go get your bagel though. I'll be right back and y'all enjoy.
This world is so full of evil. Freely speaking is what killed him. God's people under siege. The enemy's too blind to see. Brainwashed minds destroying lives of innocence. But this isn't the end of it. Yeah. Taken so young, like so many others. Tears flow from the mothers, the fathers, spouses, sons and daughters. God's children under siege by evil. Yet those demons calling them the thankful. Give me a break, what the hell is wrong with these people? A bunch of sheeple, following the devil on the road to hell. But I promise you the damn devil will never prevail. In a world so dark, choose to be the light. Keep up the fight.
What's up, Darryl T. Monkey? How you doing, King?
Don't bow down to the enemy. In a world so cold, be that fire that thorns the hearts of the bitter. Hold your loved ones close and pray tonight. In this dark world, fade the light. Charlie, you were an inspiration to so many. Always willing to sit down, have conversations. You left behind one hell of a legacy. I know that many opened their eyes, now see. Even though you're gone, your work will carry on. Now it's time for you to rest. You're home. In a world so dark, choose to be the light. Keep up the fight. Don't bow down to the enemy. In a world so cold, be that fire that thawed the hearts of the bitter. Hold your loved ones close and pray tonight.
All right. I don't know.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Something about
What's going on? What's going on?
I just don't think people. I understand people see this differently than I do, but there's millions of people that see it the same way I do. except for I see it from a different I don't know, man. I mean, you can verbally attack somebody for the beliefs, for the way they think, their ideology, but it should stop there. It should stop there. It's just, like I said before, watching that bullet and the damage it did to his neck, and I knew instantly. Like, that fucked me up. Like, for real. But can't let it affect you. Got to keep moving forward, and I'm trying. But when you look everywhere on YouTube, TikTok, not TikTok, X, and you see all these people laughing and joking because he got shot. I'm not going to say I haven't laughed and joked about people shot and killed, but those are normally fucking criminals that deserved it. Plain and simple. Are you a murderer? A rapist? You deserve to die. I mean, that's it. That's all I can say about that. Anyway, what's up, Donovan? Did I miss anybody? Dom? Anik? Yeah. So let's just get on with the. And I know I said I want to stay away from this stuff, but there's certain people that talk about the shit that, we should be talking about. Not those two hangings that were completely unrelated. And by the way, there was no evidence of foul play, guys. No matter what the TikTokers want to tell you, there's no evidence of foul play. Dude just straight up hung himself. Now, the homeless white guy, no one knows. Give me a second.
What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, Louis B. Fisher? Gonna rap to y'all for a little bit, man. I'm in the garage. I was in here working out, talking to the Lord, talking to myself, and I have not been all there for the last probably like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So this conversation is for you all, and it's also for me. I know what I titled the stream. I know I titled the stream that it was the last couple of a couple hard last few days. But I just want to remind y'all that God is faithful. God is faithful, man. God would not put anything on us that we can't get through. We need to stop being so arrogant and thinking that we are the only people that are going through something. I pray that Erica Kirk and her family are okay. I pray that people stop trying to cause division on both sides of the aisle because it's a bit chaotic at this point. I pray that people stop comparing Charlie Kirk to George Floyd.
Charlie Kirk was not a fucking criminal on drugs.
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying simply it's not the same thing. I pray that all the tears you dropped over the last few days are not for nothing. I pray that the Lord hears your cry and that he touched the heart of all of these demons that want to do nothing but spew hate all over the internet. Wow. There's so many people who are in mourning right now. I pray that my mind and heart is cleared so that I'm able to provide the type of content for my supporters that you guys come here for. I say that because, content creators are people too. And when we go and we check these stories out, and then we have to communicate our positions and our point of views to our followers and supporters, you got to keep in mind that we're also going through the same thing that you are on that side of the screen. You understand? I'm not the type of person that cry. I don't cry when people pass away. I don't do that. I think there's a certain piece of me that's missing with that. Like, I want to be 100% there and present when dealing with my emotions. You know what I mean? I'm a human being.
Which is why I haven't streamed a lot since last week.
I have seen so many deaths over the years. My upbringing was a little different, and I'm a little cold for some things,
No problem,
some
Angela.
topics, but not too cold to deal with it. Let me stop speaking riddles and get straight to the brass tacks.
Someone got hung in Colorado? Was it a suicide or was it... I don't know. I haven't heard about that one in Aurora. I'm surprised I haven't.
I didn't like Charlie Kirk at first. I didn't like him. I thought he was a know-it-all. I thought that he was this brainiac that was just trying to make viral moments from college to college.
You actually listened to him
I thought he was
or
picking
watching the
on these young
long-form
kids.
videos.
That's what I thought. Apricot tea, white apricot
What's up,
tea
Yeti?
from Hillside.
Remember that Starbucks mint majestic tea with 2 honeys, and tell them your name is Charlie.
Hilltop Coffee. Yeah, so I thought that Charlie Kirk was a bully when I very first ran into his content, and I saw him talking to children, and I didn't know, what he was talking about. My bad, guys. I'm gonna try my best to read your comments while I live stream. My eyesight is not the same as it used to be when I was younger. A nigga getting old, man. But to God be the glory, because the other side of not getting old
White Power
is not getting
Yeah,
old.
shit.
All right, so back to Charlie Kirk, man. I didn't like the brother. I thought that he was picking on kids. I
Yo,
thought that
it's funny you should say that, because that's exactly what they were saying about the Delta State, that he was lynched and hung in the park by the pickleball courts. And then even his best friend was like, bro, just leave it alone. Let the ship push through. The police already said it was fucking possible suicide. But you know what? The police doesn't mean shit when it comes to race relations. There's always racism. Oh, wait. It's weird that I picked this shirt today. Right? Don't fall for it, guys. Don't fall for it. I've been saying this for years.
shield for Trump. I thought he was a shield for MAGA. I thought he just was saying whatever would get the base riled up. I thought that
Yes, I heard that
he
rumor.
was
He said no
spewing
broken
hate.
legs, and he had broken legs, broken arms, and shit like that. But the coroner was like, I don't see any evidence of that. What are you fucking talking about? That's why TikTok is dangerous.
Against black people because I'm black. I thought that by him standing against DEI, he was a racist. I thought these things.
Van used to be a
LFR
liberal
family.
guy.
My channel is filled with mostly conservative people at this point, right? And I know that. And this is my very first time voting conservative myself. So, and I'm still like a lot of my thoughts, a lot of my relationships, a lot of my friendships, a lot of my family, a lot, and I mean like 90 percentile are Democrats. So whenever I'm around them,
Thanks, Jennifer.
you know what I mean? That's what we talk about.
I guess I'm going to have to say this right now. All these people getting canceled. It's kind of stupid. But then you look within this community. We're going to talk about it for a little bit. You ever notice that I allow just about anybody in my chats, whether I agree with you or I don't? But then there's some people who just don't deserve to be here, so they're not here because it's my channel. You can have freedom of speech, but I'm not the government. But if you notice, got people like Angela, Juniper, even General Sea Monkeys now, and they're going to look at me and go, oh, he's allowing those people there. I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. And it's shown within this community because I'm being shunned. And it's a great feeling. All because I'm doing exactly what they're saying without doxing. This goes for everybody. It's all fun and games until it hits real world. And a lot of you don't know what real world violence is. Some of us live it. Some of us thrive on it. Some of us miss it. But I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying. You can talk shit about all you want, FCC. It's been a while, but you're one of the few. That's why you can't talk in here. But that's just my little thoughts for today.
Whenever they come over here to functions, whenever we have cookouts, we can feed them niggas and everything. First thing they want to say,
Just
what's
had to
going
get
on,
that shit
Trump?
off my back.
That's how they.
I've been thinking that shit for a while.
What's up, Trump? Man, it's a damn shame what Trump doing to this country. It's a damn shame how he don't like black people and everybody just voting for him. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame.
You're very smart with that, Yeti.
And I'm not there to go tit for tat, but
I've been
I do
sitting
have
back.
the hard conversations in up close and personal
Like I tried.
with black people.
I watched Gil for a little bit last night, and then I was like, yo, this shit's just boring. It's always the same shit with these fucking people. You guys see it. Everybody's stream is exactly the same. Let's attack this person. And then we go to the other side. Let's attack this person. Tit for tat. Tit for tat.
Who are very proud
Like we're in
to be
fucking
black
third grade.
people and believe that the Democrats have our best interests at heart. I'm just no longer one of them blacks who feel like Democrats have our best interests at heart. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, Aaron. I appreciate that, Aaron. I just don't feel like the Democrats have our best interests at heart. So I progressed. I moved forward. I'm an actual progressive. Like for all of the black people who claim to be progressives, I'm an actual progressive. Someone who voted Democrat my entire life, lived in DC and Maryland, and voted Democrat, didn't even pay attention to what the politicians were supposed to do for us.
Correct, Yeti.
Actually
That's what I
thought
do
Obama
sometimes
was
now.
a phenomenal president. I thought he was the best. Man, I had $1 with Obama's face on it. I still got that dollar with Obama's face on it. I had newspapers. I rushed down to the gasoline station
My mods
and
know.
bought as many Barack
Any hint of
Obama
drama, you're
newspapers
gone.
as possible.
So you're good
I'm
here,
a
man.
real
You can
progressive,
chat whenever you want.
right? Because here I am, a married man of 27 years, 4 amazing children, and I'm not
Corey?
flexing, I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you how
You ever
God
notice,
has blessed.
Corey, how you might kind of resemble Charlie's assassin? Have you looked at his picture? Kind of looks like you would look if you were like 22. I don't know how old you are. I'm just going to assume that you're not 22. You might be in your 20s. I don't know. Fuck it. Let's get back to the show.
Me. And just so y'all know, you can't brag about what you didn't earn. God gave you that. Stop feeling like you can flex on people. You ain't earned none of that shit. God gave you that.
Don't appreciate me.
All
Just
right?
appreciate the information I put
And
out.
also, let me just make a side note right quick. Charleston White. I don't know if Charleston White is ever going to see this, but bro, you playing yourself, man. I get that that's a character, but not only do you sound dumb, you look dumb as shit. Stop. Like, show love, man. There's a way to still be in character and show people love. I mean, at what point is a nigga just going to say, you know what? I'd rather they laugh with me than at me. That's called character.
Some of y'all need to get some.
Not just saying anything for them to laugh at me, but laugh with me. Let's all get together and do something amazing. All right, so let me move back on to my point. I'm a real progressive. I start learning stuff, right? And I start testing those theories. I started having those tough conversations.
You know, y'all know for the most part that I've been a libertarian, and I try to get both sides, which I still try to do. But this shooting, this assassination, what's up, Harper? It pushed me a little more to the right. Not all the way. Just seeing the reactions. And people still want to go for that vote, that side. Democrats, you're losing 2026. I'm telling you this right now. You're losing this. Because Democrats are leaving the Democrat Party by the millions. Especially the younger ones.
And I started thinking for myself that, you know what? This makes far more sense. Here I am living a conservative life.
What's up, Gilf?
But voting Democrat. That makes no sense whatsoever.
I watched your show last night.
Now,
like I said, after a while,
I originally did it because I thought that I was voting for everybody else. You know what I mean? I thought that by me voting Democrat, I was voting to help people. I was voting because I thought Democrats was going to help my people. So you know what? I'm going to vote for them. I'm going to vote for them. Since all of them vote blue, I'm going to vote for them. I ain't got to vote for me. Nah. I got to a certain point where I realized that my vote was detrimental to other Americans. When I voted for Biden against Trump, my vote was detrimental to millions of Americans. Do you not know? I didn't know that Biden was going to open the floodgates. Open the floodgates for everybody to come on in. And if you can't get to the gate by yourself, we will fly you in. If you can't fly in, we will ship you in like cargo. I didn't know none of that was going to happen. But I was paying attention. And this is why I was paying attention so much.
I can see that, Dom. And I keep, every time I take those political maps, my first three are constitutionist, nationalist, and libertarian, which is fucking crazy. Crazy. But most of those are considered right. Constitutionalist is probably considered far right now. Far right now.
I was paying attention so much because I'm a content creator. I'm a content creator. I have a service to provide to my people. When I know I've built an audience who are here because they appreciate certain content and they enjoy me as well.
Which is why I took the break and just put it in the back room. Had a migraine. And I was like, you know what? I've got so much information that I want to put out. I want to say what I've been thinking for the past fucking week. And now I'm here. You're here. I'm here because of you. Right now, I'm here because of you. Normally, it's for me.
I try to show up. And I try to give my people what they want. While also being true to myself. So while doing that, I was forced to do my research. I was forced to find things out that I didn't know yesterday, last year, last decade, last century. And I started moving in that direction. So that's why
Appreciate your
God
guilt.
is absolutely phenomenal. I praise God for any of you guys that are under the sound of my voice right now. I just want you to know that I love you and you can't do shit about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it unless you come for my family. That's the only thing that's the only thing that will have me on your ass. That's it. But other than that, I love you. I didn't used to love white people, man. I didn't love nobody but black people. I thought that that's what we were supposed to do. I thought because we were made to believe that we were
Because he was part of the liberal hive
we were the
mind.
only people who were oppressed. We were the only people who was enslaved. We were the only people who was done bad by the white man.
Don't forget the first slave owner in the United States was a black man.
Everybody go through something. Hold on. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let me see here. Let me see. You have to stop feeding the trolls, dude. You don't have to come on here and justify to us. Stop responding to trolls, brother. Michael Gammon, let me. I appreciate you and I love you like a play cousin, but let me tell you something. I'm not responsible to trolls. I'm not responsible to supporters. I do what I do. I'm on here talking because I am clearing my soul. I'm clearing my mind about trolls. You know what? Shout out to the trolls, but the trolls don't have any impact or any power over me. And I pray that they don't have any power over you all. Okay? And the problem is not only the trolls, the problem is also people who would disregard all humanity just for the sake of staying on the team. If you are a based conservative, I'm talking about you too.
Yep.
If you are a base liberal, I'm talking about
always
you too.
Question everything.
I'm talking about people who don't want to think for yourselves, who just want to lean towards party lines. In my opinion, you're just as much of a bitch as the other side. And I stand on that. Excuse my French, I am a bilingual Christian. I'm trying to work on that.
I'm not a Christian, so I can pretty much
I am running away from.
not worry about what I say.
God is working on me, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. Y'all already know, man. When I come to y'all with good intent. I'm not meat riding. If you want to leave the channel, you can leave the channel.
Yep.
If you want to support the channel, support the channel.
Yep.
I'm not at a point in my content creation where I have to meat ride anybody.
Gonna say anything, but if you want to subscribe to me for $5 a month, you can look it up on my Rumble. Apparently, I didn't know I can get subscriptions, but I have one. And FinFam, you the man.
Or respond
he's
to
a California.
trolls. I care less about them. That's like giving Satan a lot of your attention, giving Satan being fearful of the negative instead of looking toward the positive. God is the positive. Ain't nothing bigger than the Lord. So a troll cannot bring me down. Demons cannot bring me down.
Me neither.
So I believe because of that, it's my responsibility to let other people know who are bothered by trolls, to let other people know who are bothered by demons, that they can't do shit with us. They can't do nothing with us. We keep on talking about Israel are the chosen people. Do y'all not understand that we are sons and daughters of Israel? It's not only them that are the chosen people.
Wait, what did he say?
We keep on talking about Israel are the chosen people.
They're not.
Do y'all not understand that we are sons and daughters of Israel?
I'm not.
It's not only them that are the chosen people. We are the chosen people. Stop playing. We don't have to worship a certain part or a certain
you guys short
portion
bus is live.
of this world. All of us will receive the promise as long as we do what we're supposed to do. So now, I said all that to say this. Brother, the trolls, they can get it too. And I do set aside some time to address the trolls, but this ain't it. This ain't that. This ain't that. This ain't that. Anybody that saw my video, I'm my messy ass garage, man. And thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, no
thank
problem.
you for challenging me.
It wasn't me, though.
Thank you for joining the membership, Chris. All right, let me get back to it. Thank you so much for the super chat, Mr. Wonder Bread. Much love
Wonder
from
Bread
your
if it's
favorite white
white.
friend, Elephant Jesus. What's up, Elephant Jesus? I was just talking about you. I was just now talking about you, man. I promise you. I was just now telling somebody that I was in a conversation with that I used to be in Discord all the time with this was in there. Elephant Jesus was in there.
Fucking
Remember
Discord.
that? And he went off to do stand-up comedy and
I
everything, man.
refuse to
The
do
phenomenal
Discord.
girl dad. Phenomenal girl dad. And the ladies used to love him because he got hair like Jesus. So we called him Elephant Jesus. Man, shout out to you, big dog. Good seeing you, man. Much love to you, brother.
Get off the super chat.
Yeah. So again, guys, content creation is what I do, all right? And if you're a content creator, cut on that camera and get to work. If you need some help,
You guys, I don't
reach
know
out to
if
me with the...
some of y'all understand. I'm not saying all of you won't. You know how hard it is sometimes to be like, fuck, man. I want to stream, but I'm kind of nervous. Well, guess what? I'm nervous every fucking time I go live. And I've been talking in front of people for a long fucking time. And by people, I mean anywhere between 20 to 1,800 to 3,200. On a stage, looking at them, they're looking at me. But that's why I have long intros. If you notice, that's where I try to get the nerves out. But for people that haven't done this and really want to do it, Gilf, you're gone now, but it's hard. Especially when you're somebody like me and you put yourself on camera. Right? Sometimes you gotta face your fears. Live without fear. Zero miedo. Try it. If you can't do it, that's great, but at least you tried. Nobody can fault you for that. Well, within this community, people will. I won't. I don't know, guys. This is a rant day. I'm sorry. This is going to be a long stream because of the videos I have set up, but you know it's going to be twice as long because I can't shut the fuck up sometimes. Yes, I am.
Word coach, or just get the course that I created. Now let me get back to it, guys. Charlie Kirk.
It's so I can walk around the room instead of having to stay close to my computer. Yeah, that's my microphone.
Charlie Kirk should no longer be compared to George Floyd.
He never should be.
We need to stop that. We need to cut that out. Not saying that George Floyd is the least of these, because we all are. We all are filthy rags. We all were born in sin, shaped in iniquity. We know that none of us are perfect. Not near one of us are perfect.
I'm pretty close.
And if you can look in the mirror and say that you're perfect, then let me come over here so I can be the last judge. I'm gonna be the last judge. I'm gonna slap the hell out of you if you tell me that you're perfect. The Lord
Aren't we all
created us
perfect
to
in the
be
eyes of
exactly
God?
who we're supposed to be. As long as we follow his rules and guidelines and laws, then we will be good. But it's okay to check these fools from time to time. Just make sure you know what you're talking about, please. Do your research before you jump on social media and start being a damn thumb thug.
They can't.
Start being a keyboard killer.
They won't.
All because you know that can't nobody touch you behind that screen. Be careful. We all thought that Charlie Kirk could not be touched. He had a whole army of individuals behind him and beside him. He had actual shooters. He had military beside him and in front of him. And somebody was still able to touch him. Somebody was still able to touch him.
See, some of these people, some of us are taking this shit personal.
But he lived
And I'm
his
not
life
religious,
for
which is
the
crazy.
Lord. You can't say that about Charlie Kirk. I mean, you can't say that about George Floyd. This dude lived his life for the Lord. People get out of jail after doing 10 years in prison, and niggas show them all types of love, all because they survived the jungle for 10 years and they came out with all types of damn muscles. You get so much respect from me because you didn't criminalize some goddamn body, went to jail for it, got a whole bunch of muscles, came out as a better damn criminal as you ever been, and we are praising you. But somebody who lived their life for the Lord goes out of his way to minister to young children all around the world, to involve them in an intellectual discourse so that they can learn and so that they can teach him something, so that he can gain some perspective from the young people. He did that while living for the Lord. George Floyd died, and they burned up his city. They threw Molotov cocktails through businesses. They flipped over cars, jumped on cars and started stomping on them. What the hell did those citizens do to you? What the hell did that business owner do to you? Huh? It's like y'all respect the criminal more than y'all respect an actual citizen with integrity, with honor, somebody that's working for their families. He actually just now used a fake $20 bill trying to buy something out of a store. They report him. They come pick him up. He still wouldn't listen to the damn cops. Listen to me, guys. Listen to the cops. Talk your shit, but listen to them. You can still talk. They can't punish you for that, but listen to them. Let everything else wash out in the damn courts or something else. Am I being naive? Probably. Are there people out there who have been criminalized by the police? Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Don't fake like all police are good. Some of these niggas are nerds with badges. They wasn't shit when they was young, and they decided to grow up and get a badge and a gun so that they can do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. Some of those guys work with some real guys, some real stand-up police.
I mean, that's the same with any business, if you think about it. There's a lot of soldiers that I worked with that are definitely pieces of fucking shit, and they shouldn't have been in the military, but they kept progressing and progressing and progressing because they were pieces of shit that pretty much licked assholes to get up to the top. It happens.
And since they are a part of the gang, they are protected. So I'm not naive, but I also seen the tape of George Floyd. His life could have been preserved had he listened. His life could have been preserved had he not tried to hurry up and swallow drugs. His life could have been preserved if he had gotten a damn car.
You mean stayed in
If
the
he
car?
had got out the car, turned around, got in the car, he wouldn't even been on the ground. They wouldn't even got to that point.
Is today Patriots Day?
They would not have got to that point. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying.
You're not lying.
If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. Stop comparing Charlie Kirk to George Floyd, man. They're two different types of dudes. I ain't saying one is better than the other. We have all been born in sin, shaped in iniquity. We are all filthy rags. None of us are perfect. None of us. But they are not the same. Stop comparing them, okay?
I've never compared Kirk to Floyd, but that young Ukrainian lady, just like fucking Steven Crowder said, that should be your George Floyd. But she's already forgotten. Yuritska, I believe is her name. I don't want to fuck it up because that's what I would do normally. that, like I said, like Crowder said, that would be your George Floyd. And what's even funnier, she was a immigrant here on asylum.
Charlie Kirk's fans and supporters, they mourned him by praying, joining hands all across the world.
I'm not gonna
Not
lie,
the city, not the country,
I asked Odin for
the
help when this happened.
world. This dude was honored like he was a president because he was that impactful, not because he's a white man. Y'all some dumbass people, man. Y'all will be out here talking about, oh, they so upset because a white man killed a white man. Ha, look at y'all. It's the same man.
You know what's
Don't
funny? I
it feel
didn't
the
even
same?
look at
No,
that when Kirk got shot. I was like, oh, a liberal killed this guy. I never thought it was, oh, a white man killed a white man, or a black man shot a white man. And just like the hanging, the suicide in Delta State, all the misinformation that these TikTokers are putting out, creating a race war because the media. By the way, if you want this shirt, go to libertymaniacs.com. I don't get paid by them. I bought this shirt a couple of years ago.
it's not the same.
I don't know if it's still there.
Do you know how dumb you gotta be to think that that's the same? It's not a white man killing a white man, white on white crime. That's why we're laughing, because it's white on white crime. Everybody doing their favorite Chris Rock impersonation. Y'all niggas are not funny. You sound ignorant, you look ignorant, and you stink.
Sound like Chappelle.
I made up the stink part, but you look like you sound like you stink.
Okay. I mean, nothing he said was wrong. He's basically saying what everyone's thinking, and now he finally just took off his censors. I don't think he's afraid of losing his fucking monetization anymore. But yeah. I never knew how influential Charlie Kirk was until September 10th, September 11th. That's crazy. My favorite day ever was September 12th, 2001. September 11th, 2025. The world was there was solidarity in the world again. Not from everybody, but from a good majority of the world. 25 years later. And don't forget, the First World War started because of an assassination. Franz Ferdinand. Because of an assassination. And this is where I think this assassination is becoming... It's not what it's being told you to be, and Candace Owens could be right. And those of you that think Candace Owens is crazy, like Officer Tatum, fuck y'all. Alright, drive safe, Angela. Officer Tatum's a fucking cuck for Israel. I don't know if I put it in this one. I probably didn't. So George Zim, the guy that was the first one arrested at the Charlie Kirk shooting, the one everybody thought was this old man. He was an old man. He was arrested. He was charged with obstruction. Somehow this dude got arrested for threats, I believe in 2017, wherever the last... during one of the... What is Utah? What's the main city in Utah? Fuck. Salt Lake City Marathon. for threatening to blow it up. This dude somehow was around for a lot of interviews for 9/11. Weird. Guess what else he was charged with? As they were going through his phone to read messages and shit like that to see if he had anything to do with the shooting, they found images. You know what these images were of? Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you because you already know. And he got charged again. It's weird. It's fucking weird. Alright, now we're going to head to Baltimore, and this has nothing to do with crime. This has a lot to do with weird. Listen to me. Teachers are getting fired all across this country. 300 in Texas alone. Baltimore hasn't passed a math test or proficiency test in 4 years. Their reading tests are even worse. But no, let's focus on Donald Trump being a Nazi, right?
A Fox 45 investigation has uncovered yet another stunning failure in Baltimore City Public Schools when it comes to academic outcomes. As Project Baltimore's Chris Papps explains, despite a dramatic increase in funding...
Which is, you know what's strange? When I was in high school, we had to pass an exit exam. You take your exit exam on your junior year, and the exam is based on everything you learned from kindergarten up to the end of your junior year. You needed that to graduate. You had a second chance to take it in the senior year. If you didn't pass that, you got to go to summer school and take it again. What happened to that? What happened to that? We had this football player from Alexandria called Mac something. Doesn't really matter anyway. He had all the rushing records for the high school in the state of Alabama. All of them. At least in my area. Area 4. I don't remember. Failed his exit exam twice. He had a scholarship to Auburn. And guess what? He didn't have a scholarship to Auburn. He didn't graduate on time. Because he was getting passed. He was getting put through because of his football skills. Maybe he should have studied a little bit and been a student athlete. That's really not that hard. You can do it as a baseball player.
We found one city high school that has not had a single student test proficient in math in 4 years.
Carl Stokes is a former Baltimore City Council member and charter school operator.
You're shaking your head.
Well, of course. I mean, how long have we been talking about this?
Stokes,
These students are in need.
for years,
They just can't miss a third of the school year.
has been speaking out against the lack of education
Matt Campbell.
Corrupt.
for many students in Baltimore City public schools.
And they do a horrible job.
Now, Stokes is responding to what Fox 45 discovered in the recently released results for the state test known as MCAP, the Maryland Comprehensive Assessment Program.
That school should be closed.
Achievement Academy at Harbor City is a high school in Northeast Baltimore. According to MCAP data analyzed by Project Baltimore, Achievement Academy has not had a single student test proficient in math in 4 years. Over the last 4 school years, 134 students at the school have taken the state
That's
math
it?
exams. Not one scored proficient.
It says that the leadership is worthless, pretty much. They're failing their mission.
What are they teaching the kids?
City Schools on its website defines Achievement Academy as an alternative place for students who struggle in traditional academic settings. The school's vision, according to its website, is to cultivate lifelong learners and productive citizens. And the
I'm guessing they
school
don't
gets a
do any
lot
of that.
more money to achieve that vision. According to state data in 2021,
Hey, I went to an alternative school before, my 7th or 8th grade year, but it wasn't because I wasn't fucking smart, or it wasn't because I was dumb. It was because I couldn't stay out of trouble. Alternative schools are for people that can't stay out of trouble.
$1,000 for each one of its 372 students. By 2024, Achieve had an enrollment of 202 and received more than $42,000 per student. In other words, over those 4 school years, Achievement
That's
Academy's per
fucking
student
insane.
funding more than
Doubled.
doubled. And still, not one student over those years tested proficient in math.
When you look at
Why
a school
these
like
teachers
Achievement Academy,
lose pay?
and you look at the amount of
If you're
money
a
it's getting,
teacher and you have, I know this sounds really fucked up, but you have, like geometry, you take the end of year geometry test, and for these proficiency tests, if this many people are failing, those teachers should get some pay taken away because they're not doing their job. Imagine being in a business where you're not productive and you think they're still going to fucking pay you.
and the education the students apparently aren't getting.
Dominique, I am actually not surprised.
Who do you hold accountable?
Your whole leadership. So you start with North Avenue headquarters. You begin with that leadership from superintendent, a CEO, and her cabinet, and then the local school leadership.
Achievement Academy's principal last school year was Kristen Taylor, who's been with City Schools for 19
She looks like an
years.
SJW.
According to City Schools' 2024 employee database, Taylor made nearly $150,000
What
in
the
total
fuck?
earnings. Fox 45 requested an interview with City Schools.
$150,000 a year to have a failing fucking academy? I need to become a fucking principal.
To discuss math scores at Achievement Academy. The district declined and instead sent a statement which does not even mention student outcomes. This statement says nothing about 0 students being proficient in math and how the district plans to improve the quality of education. Instead, the statement focuses on the money, saying City Schools calculates per pupil funding differently than the state. Writing, MSDE figures include central office and district-wide costs, not just school-level spending, and therefore should not be interpreted as what a school actually spends per student.
What is the answer?
Accountability. Starting with the elected officials holding.
Oh, hold on. That's a weird word. I've never heard that before. Let's replay it.
The answer.
Accountability.
He said accountability. That's weird. That exists? That's a real word? People actually know what it means?
Starting with the elected officials holding school officials accountable.
What does that look like?
At some point,
Docking
you'll have
pay.
to withhold money in terms of increases, salaries, etc.
My
and
nigga.
withhold promotions, and finally, you must dismiss persons who don't meet the standard that you're trying to get to for these young people.
Also, take a look at this. This is the school ranking website from the Maryland State Department of Education. Every year, every public school in the state gets a ranking of a low of 1 star
Right.
to a high
Most schools
of
do
5
that.
stars. Achievement Academy gets 2 stars. This school, which has not produced a single student in 4 years who's proficient in math, according to MSDE, is not
My school is one of the top in the
lowest
state. We are also a
performing
city school.
schools in the state. I'm Chris Pabst, and
They should seriously look at the teachers, the curriculum, the administration, all the way up to the school board. Something's not right there. They're stealing money. I mean, the principal gets paid $150,000 a year. How much you want to bet those teachers get paid roughly $30,000 to $40,000? Because remember, it's like $40,000 per student, and they have 200 something students. Interesting. They need to have their pay docked. There's no fucking... Maybe they should do yearly evaluations, and if you do good, you get a pay raise, and if you don't, you get to stay at the same thing. Or we have reason for dismissal. I get it, there's a fucking shortage of teachers. But did you know in Texas, you don't have to have a college degree to be a teacher? I didn't know that. You have to get a teaching certificate. I could be a teacher in Texas. But I'm not moving to Texas. I like Tennessee. Wait till you hear.
This is social media content for you. Going up to a child that's playing with toys at the store, minding his own business, just so you can film yourself being racist and bullying him to post online to try to get other people to make fun of and
That's
bully
some predator
him too.
behavior.
And all for what? Some likes and attention? Seriously? You don't know better than to treat people this way, especially children? You don't mess with kids, period. I tell you what, you do this to the wrong kid, you're not going to be laughing when the parents find out. Shame on you and every single person that liked your post. You need to do better.
He actively, he does this. And he went searching for a kid. I guess he saw it and decided to be not only racist, but go back and record it. Thought you couldn't. That video should be removed, but it probably wasn't. But anyway, that is some fucking predator behavior. Now, what happens
Story on Action News tonight.
if you go to rob a house, right? And for some reason you're outside and you rob somebody, and then you want to chase them inside and continue to try and rob them. But you weren't stopped by a gun. You weren't stopped by a rifle. You weren't stopped by a knife.
It is the face-to-face encounter between residents and an intruder in their home.
That suspect was stabbed with a sword on the unit block of East Blackberry Alley in Norristown this morning.
Say that again?
Police say they followed a blood trail that led them to the suspect.
Action News reporter Leland Pender joins us now live from Norristown, and what an interesting story here, Leland.
Scary moments all the way around Gray and Shari. I talked to the lead detectives on this case today. They say thankfully all of the victims here are okay after that man brought a samurai sword to a gunfight and won.
It was pretty chaotic scene this morning.
An alarming scene on Cherry Street in Norristown Tuesday morning. Neighbors watched as police took a man into custody who was bleeding profusely after being stabbed with a samurai sword.
When I came out here, he was just laying on the ground.
This wasn't on my
Cops were
2025
dragging
bingo
him.
card, guys.
Police say 35-year-old Marcus Armstrong was actually the perpetrator of a botched robbery and home invasion a few blocks away. Around 8:45, police
Dude, you
allege
could
he
park
robbed
a
a
car
man
in
at
that dude's
gunpoint
nostrils.
outside a home on Blackberry Alley while a female escaped inside. That's when police say Armstrong barged through the door, encountering the woman's roommate, who was armed with a samurai sword.
The roommate defended himself. He had that samurai sword and took a swipe at the suspect.
Police shared this
I'm
photo
taking
of
a
the
limb.
weapon, not something they see every day.
This time someone fought back, and the fact that they used a samurai sword. I can't tell you the last time we've even seen one.
After being slashed, police say the suspect fled to a home on Cherry Street, leaving a trail of blood that ultimately helped police piece together their investigation, but initially alarmed neighbors.
I was just worried, trying to get him some help. and it was upsetting.
The investigation revealed this was a random crime of opportunity when the suspect saw the victims exchanging money outside.
Oh.
Police said both reported being suspicious of the man
Oh.
moments before the attack.
How embarrassing is that when you try to explain to people in jail?
And Orange
Yeah, I
County-
went to rob these guys, and guess what? I got stabbed with a fucking samurai sword.
You are a bigot.
Now, we're going to go back to freedom of speech. Right? One thing that the freedom of speech does protect you is from a school board meeting. You're allowed to have your free speech, and if you get kicked out because you're using your free speech, that's where it's unconstitutional, even if you're a Muslim.
Homophobe. And although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you're not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city,
your mayor basically just told you you're not welcome here.
With the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city.
Yes, go ahead. State your name and address.
God bless you, Mayor. God bless you, sir.
I think
Thank
you
you.
also say that I'm an apostate, I'm going to hell, based on the videos that you traveled. So if I were you, I'd sit silently.
Okay.
Wow. That is the mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, laying into someone who spoke at City Council. This exchange has made news. Let's back up so you can see what happened in its entirety.
2 intersections have been named after Mr. Omar Siblani. I'm sure he's done a lot of good things for the community, starting the Arab American News. But one thing I'm very concerned about, which I think a lot of people in Dearborn would be concerned about, I mean, I could just read his direct quotations.
Can you tell us what the issue is?
Yeah,
Before we
Councilman
start
Abraham.
reading things, can you just tell us what your concern is?
Yeah,
Councilman
my concern is he's a promoter of Hezbollah and Hamas. And
Mr. Barham?
Yeah.
And Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, Councilman Abraham. But your point, you're free to address your point, which I just wanted to make sure you're aware. The sign that was placed in that area is a county road and was done by the Wayne County Executive. It's not under control of the city, Dearborn or City Council. We can get you the list of their meeting, and you could go there and speak to the county commissioners, but we did not have the authority to overrule that or to suspend it there.
Yes, that's fine, and I did understand that, but I know that there were people in this room who were there at the, at the ceremony for putting those signs up, and also it's in Dearborn, so
Which is
speaking as a Dearbornite. Just
pretty,
a couple of quotes here.
Muslim heavy.
He talks about how the blood of the martyrs, I'm quoting, irrigates the land of Palestine. And then further quotes, he talks about how the terrorists should strike them with knives and with their bare hands, and they're victorious. And he also encourages the use of rockets over there. And then another quote from 2022, we are the Arabs who are going to lift Palestinians all the way to victory, whether we are in Michigan and whether we are in Jenin. So the reason why I mentioned this is that it sounds like he could be inciting violence in Michigan. Believe me, I'm continuing the quotation. He says, believe me.
He's not. I just want to be clear. He can speak for himself.
Well, this is
I'm
speaking for himself.
going to stop you because he's not a violent person, and you can interpret his words any way you want, but I will guarantee you he is not intending to incite violence.
Think about that. Whenever they have somebody do a mass murder, they're like, well, I never would have expected him to do something like that. He was such a great member of the community. He would never do anything violent. The fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Anywhere in the world.
Thank you, Councilman
He
Abraham.
could defend himself if he were here, but
Sure.
We're not going to allow personal attacks in our community.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just reading his words here.
That's fine, but
They
you're
seem
interpreting his words after you read them. He did not use the word violence, did he?
Well, may I continue the rest of the quote?
Well, if you say you want to read them, you can read them. If you want to interpret and give your own opinion of what he's
That's
thinking,
his right.
that's a different story.
Okay.
That's his
Sure,
right.
I mean, I'd love to discuss this. I just want to finish the quote because there's more.
See, this is where people don't
okay, I'll
understand
continue.
the difference between freedom of speech, freedom of consequences. This man should receive no consequences from the government. And they're trying to shut him down, which is exactly what they claim that Republicans are trying to do. try to shut people up. They're fascist. Look up the definition of fascist, you fucking retards.
Whether we are in Michigan and whether we are in Jenin, believe me, everyone should fight within his means. They will fight with stones, others will fight with guns, others will fight with planes, drones, and rockets. Others will fight with their voices, and others will fight with their hands and say, free, free Palestine.
That sounds violent.
So I just find it very concerning. Did my 3 minutes include other people's words
that's
as
okay.
well?
There was some dialogue, but as the councilman indicated, and just we wanted to make sure you be careful when you're talking about incitement or riot. There's legal terminations for that. There's legal precedent for that, and that's what the councilman's indicated, that you're drawing a conclusion that you have the right to draw. But as I indicated, the sign was placed from the county in that location. So, did you have anything else you'd like to speak on?
Well, it seems very provocative to have those signs up there. I mean, I also appreciate how he has helped to people to sympathize with, the people of Palestine, people of Lebanon. As you know, I've lived in Lebanon. I also lived in Israel. I've stayed for several weeks in Palestine, and I feel like, but despite that, I feel like having that sign up there, it's almost like having, naming a street Hezbollah Street or Hamas Street. I mean, Hezbollah
or Jew Street,
bombed the
Netanyahu
embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel that's quite inappropriate. And as a Christian, I would like to encourage peace.
All right,
I'm not just being like.
Take that back. He's not a Jew. Bet he's a Zionist, though. Wait, he's a Christian that lived in Israel. They literally spit on you guys in Israel.
Pro-Israel in this and, fight back and that sort of thing. But I would like to encourage peace and not violence. Actually, I'd like to quote from the words of someone who had the same enemy. It was Jewish people who killed Jesus. He was Jewish, but his fellow Jewish people killed him. And he said, the one who lives by the sword will die by the sword.
Oh.
And what I would like to encourage on the other side is peace. He is called the Prince of Peace, and he said, blessed are the peacemakers. And his death at the hands of Jewish people opens the door to peace between Jewish and non-Jewish people. So that's what I would like to actively try to encourage to you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Byron. Sir, if you'd like to step forward.
I think the only comment I'm going to make, 'cause I'm not
Mayor?
looking for a rebuttal, is the best suggestion I have for you is to not drive on Warren Avenue, or to close your eyes while you're doing it.
Wow, that's pretty.
His name is up there, and
He wants you to drive down that street with your eyes closed. I would do that, and I would get into an accident, and I'm like, that guy, I'm suing him because that's exactly what he told me to do.
Spoke at a ceremony celebrating it because he's done a lot for this community. And I think it's quite hypocritical to know that you're approaching this podium when you yourself have videos on YouTube standing in front of my mosque saying the cruelest of things about Muslims, about the religion of Islam, because you are a bigot and you are a racist and you are an Islamophobe. And although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city. Because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence. You're somebody who tries to preach it, but in fact you do everything but that. So I just want to put that on the record.
Yes, go ahead. State your name and address.
God bless you, Mayor.
Huh?
God bless you, sir.
I think
Thank you.
also say that I'm an apostate, I'm going to hell based on the videos that you've dropped. So if I were you, I'd sit silently.
Okay.
So what is this video talk all about? I found his YouTube channel. Here he sings a song he wrote in front of a mosque. I can't find him saying anything bad about Islam. In fact, he seems to express his desire to understand and befriend Muslims. Perhaps there's something I'm not seeing. Or perhaps this is just another liberal crying about an ism that doesn't exist.
I don't know. I've been around Islam for about, eight-ish years. I like to say there's Islamics, Muslims, and then you have the radicalized extremist. Which, with anything, you can have a great group of people, but it takes that 1%, maybe 3%, to fuck it up for the entire people. Like 8% of the 13% fuck it up for that 13%. 12%, 4%.
So, an Australian content creator is finding.
This Australian content creator is not only a content creator, but she is a mental health professional who looks like herself should be committed. I don't know if she shows this, but her hair is fucking like all like this and it's rainbow colored. And I'm like, you look fucking stupid. And you're the one that people are going to go to for, behavioral mental health issues? The fuck out of here. Good thing this bitch lives in Australia.
Out what happens when you F around. Now, let's hear what she has to say. And then we're going to get into
watch this bitch's
what
hair.
she did.
So I received information that I've been doxxed on X, so I'm going to have to step away
this
for
is
a
a
little
different.
bit. And the AFP have been contacted, and also the E-Safety Commission as well have been contacted, because there's been a large number of threats coming through. And the irony of this situation, that all I did was say some words that offended some people, and now people have decided to take that into the real world and start threatening and harassing and abusing people out in the real world based on their inability to manage their emotions.
Now, what could have Lizzie said? Ah, that's right. Lizzie here described Charlie.
Look at that stupid fuck hair. Right? She looks like a goddamn retard. Like something that came out of a fucking apocalyptic movie, like something out of Mad Max, but a fucking gay Mad Max.
Works unaliving as a human water fountain. But that's not all. Ironically, right, Lizzie? Ironically, people can't handle their emotions and they're offended that you're literally out here telling your followers that they could laugh at somebody literally being unalived in front of not only his wife, but his children.
But saying you look like a water
in
fountain?
attendance that will never be the same. You're a mental health professional, and
I don't
you're
think
out
I've
here
seen
telling people,
Jen ever
"Hey,
get
laugh
this.
at that," because that's what normal people do. Ah, Charlie, thank you. Every time I think, what would Charlie do, it simmers me down a little bit because I want to go postal on these people. Yeah, I want to go postal on them.
Yeah.
I do. I want to go postal.
I want to
with
go
my
Frank Castle on them.
words and with facts instead of what they do. I don't know, you guys. I can't laugh at somebody being unalived. It was broadcasted all over the world. Human water fountain, Lizzie. How anybody allows you near any of their children or people in general for you to give them mental health services. Your licensure should be stripped away for life. Because clearly, you don't know the difference between right versus wrong. This is not
It's also
right
in liberal Australia.
versus left or red versus blue, which ironically, you got your own country to fix. Because your country, what happened there? You opened your borders and we have a bunch of migrant grape gangs and people taking machetes to your own
Maybe
people.
England.
But it's racism to call it out. Right, Lizzie? Ugh. Anyone that celebrates this, you need some serious help. And the last person you should ever go see is somebody like Lizzie. And you're wondering, but I said some words on the internet and people are really doing this. You said it. You called this man a human water fountain. By God. Oh, I pray for you. I pray that the hatred for others who don't think just like you, I hate for that hatred to be absolved from you, to be dissolved away. But you, as a mental health provider, shame on you. But in order to be ashamed, you gotta.
Yes. Crazy, isn't it? And that's why it's fine. I think they're up to, I think the last count I saw was 1,700. Teachers, doctors, mental health professional, student administrators, police, judges, Secret Service agents. You know, am I happy to see this happening? Kinda. Kinda. I mean, you can say something on X, well, Twitter, 10 years ago. They'll bring it back up and, oh my God, you're suddenly the worst person in the world because you said one time, yo, what's up, my nigga? In a post. Or Jay-Z's my nigga. Oh, you're white. You can't say that. Can't say that. I can. I can. I don't know where I was going with that. That was a rant.
Thank you, Leader. Are there any plans for the Senate?
Are there what? Sorry.
Are there any plans for the Senate to take action in the wake of the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk to move against trans militia groups and Antifa groups that really foment violence and have direct calls against their political opponents?
I actually did.
Violence from any.
Correct me if I'm right. Evergreen's where they had that school shooter, right? Where the fucker offed himself. Because I know they were talking about he was also radicalized in the same thing.
Quarter, for any reason, has to be condemned.
Are there any plans for the Senate to take action in the wake of the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk to move against trans militia groups and Antifa groups that really foment violence and have direct calls against their political opponents?
Look, violence from any quarter, for any reason, has to be condemned. It undermines our democracy. And whether it's left, right, center, liberal, conservative, independent, violence, any kind of violence, must be condemned. Way in the back.
Didn't answer the fucking question. So, while we were here, I believe it was early this morning, before I started, maybe it was after I started, now that Antifa has now been labeled a terrorist organization. So they can come after you, and it's going to be RICO charges. Corey Lemley, Nashville, Tennessee. I can get your address later. Antifa, because of a Discord. Not Discord. Was it Discord? For this little faggot. I don't even want to say his name. I really don't know his name, and I don't care to know his name anymore. All I'm going to say is he's that fucking faggot that shot Charlie Kirk. But it wasn't because, oh, you know what? Speaking of that trans Tifa, I probably went over it already. But there's one guy, two guys actually, Montel Williams and some white dude from ABC, who are going through those texts. By the way, though, I think those texts were completely fucking faked. And we'll go into that later. But they were gushing over it, like, oh, he did this because he did this for the love of his partner. The love of his partner. That's why he assassinated a guy? For the love of his partner? And they are gushing over it? Montel Williams, you're a fucking piece of shit, and I've always thought it, and you just solidified that. Other dude from ABC, it doesn't matter because you got fired.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director.
Now, before Dick Durbin opens his mouth, Dick Durbin is the same one last year that when fucking Marsha Blackburn was trying to get all the Epstein information put out to release to the fucking government and subpoena them, Dick Durbin didn't even listen to her. She said on numerous occasions, and he did nothing. He did nothing. So for him to come out, I don't know if this, for him to come out anything related to the Epstein files, he is a fucking big portion of why they didn't get released last year.
Patel, in addition to the extensive...
Kimmel got fired. I guess his comments because he spread misinformation about the shooter. And he got canceled, suspended indefinitely. But what people didn't think about is, just like Stephen Colbert, Kimmel gets paid $16 million a year, right? That show that he runs, or is it hosting, they lost year after year between $40 to $50 million a year. They were losing money on that show. Kimmel was still making money. They weren't. So yeah, they can cancel him. And Disney and ABC are like, fuck that, dude. We don't want any more trouble. They already don't trust us, so we might as well start acting like we have some sense.
The purge of nonpartisan career FBI official reports indicate that dozens of remaining officials have been suggested.
There you go, Corey. I just summed it up in a matter of 2 minutes. I didn't realize that's what you wanted to hear. Yeah, see?
Subjected to polygraph exams to test
their loyalty. And I read something like, because that day he got fired, I think it was yesterday, they didn't even run his show. Some networks, markets in that place, they're going to run Charlie Kirk tribute shows. Charlie Kirk tribute shows? How's that for you, Kimmel? And people like Kimmel and ABC, CNN, Fox News, these motherfuckers. Imagine if the Smith-Mundt Act that Obama signed was repealed. Media couldn't lie again because they would be held liable and financially liable. And for all this misinformation, FCC could technically take their licenses away. And that's why Kimmel got fired as well. Because they didn't want another lawsuit. He was spreading misinformation. And he was losing money.
My understanding is that approximately 40 officials have been asked to sit for a polygraph during your administration, and several have been asked whether they have ever made negative comments about you. Director Patel, FBI agents pledge their loyalty to the Constitution of the United States, not you personally. What is the basis for requiring polygraph exams of your workforce and asking them if they've made negative comments about you?
I don't know what reports you're referring to, Ranking Member, and I reject any reporting that has false information in it, so I'm not going to respond to that. As far as polygraphs go, generally they are always and always have been utilized at the FBI
they
to
should
track
be
down
used
those
for
that leak
intelligence
sensitive
agencies.
information and have unauthorized disclosures to the media, and we will continue to use them to ensure the integrity of the FBI.
Did any individual on your senior executive team, the director's advisory team, or who serve in the positions on the 7th floor receive disqualifying alerts on their polygraphs?
Senator, I'm not going to get into the personnel discussions that were had on a polygraph. Those are private discussions, and many of them relate to ongoing investigations.
Did you or Attorney General Bondi provide any individual with a waiver
Fuck
so
Bondi.
they could remain employed
Fuck
after
you, Pam
they
Bondi.
received disqualifying alerts on their polygraphs?
Fuck you. Hate speech is free speech. I hope you fucking know that, Pam Bondi. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want within the limits of free speech, right?
I'll have to get back to you.
You don't remember that?
No, sir. My priority is protecting the American public, not getting into the weeds of polygraphs.
And to have a decent memory when you come before a committee.
I'm happy to talk about all the good work the men and women of the FBI are doing, including provided the lowest crime rate in American history. If you want to talk about how to protect the citizens, Chicago has seen a 30% reduction in its murder rate because of the men and women of the
And you
FBI.
take credit for
I'll
that?
happily do that.
You
The
take credit?
interagency partners and the men and women of the Chicago PD have never been more
Include
powerful.
local law enforcement, please.
Have you ever seen my testimony across this country where I always lead with our interagency partnerships with state and local law enforcement? It is the pillar of what I am doing. And on the 7th floor, for the first time in FBI history, I have installed police officers and sheriffs right on my 7th floor to report to us every day what's going around the country on the street level, because that is a priority of the FBI and is the only way we are going to work. I don't take credit for anything, but I will defend the men and women of the FBI and the cops that help us get it done.
You should. Director Patel, to your knowledge, did a whistleblower ever make a disclosure to Attorney General Bondi indicating that the New York field office was withholding Epstein-related records?
I'm not familiar with that whistleblower.
You know that there was such a whistleblower?
I'm not familiar with that whistleblower.
In response to the blowback she received, Attorney General Bondi also pushed the FBI to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records on an arbitrarily short deadline in March, and the FBI was directed to flag any documents that mentioned President
You know, I was
Trump.
thinking about this.
Nothing.
They were sitting on those records for 4 years, Director Ray. Who's to say they didn't go through and take out pertinent information as well? Maybe that's why they can't find anything. You know, you said there's no names. There's no list. Maybe he's right. Maybe they're gone. And all the things they have are from fucking FBI testimonies. Because they can't unseal the fucking original indictments. And they want to blame this on Republicans. 3 different liberal judges made it to where they can't unseal those documents. Those testimonies that got Epstein put away. That named people.
Came of that review until July, when DOJ and FBI released an unsigned memorandum stating there is no incriminating client list. Why was this July 7th memorandum unsigned?
Would you prefer I've used AutoPen?
Why was it unsigned?
The memorandum had the insignia of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And in our effort to secure transparency for the American people, because the 3 prior administrations had not done so, we conducted an exhaustive search of everything related to the Epstein cases, and we produced what was legally and permissibly able to be produced to Congress and the American public.
So
and there's a congressional subpoena, and we're continuing to do so.
Did you personally direct that investigation so that you would sign such a...
Did I personally direct what investigation?
Of the Epstein records for any reference to President Trump?
Again, you are citing reporting that I think is baseless. We conducted an investigation of the Epstein case files pursuant to the direction of the president.
Again, they don't care about the Epstein files in Congress and Senate. They only care about, and he just said it, is Donald Trump in it. That's all they care about. They don't give a fuck about the kids. They don't give a fuck about the traffickers. All Congress cares about is if Trump's on that list. That's where they're misguided in getting this shit out.
Administration to provide all credible information, and we are working with Congress pursuant to a congressional subpoena to turn over all the documents we can. All individuals.
Who at DOJ and FBI was responsible for its drafting and conclusions?
Many individuals at the Department of Justice and the FBI are responsible.
There was no lead person?
The Attorney General leads the Department of Justice, and I lead the FBI.
So the Attorney General was responsible for that?
The Attorney General leads the Department of Justice.
Director Patel, much like you, Deputy Director Dan Bongino was a conspiracy theorist who built a lucrative career making inflammatory and unsubstantiated statements about the FBI that would be disqualifying in any administration that cared about nonpartisan law enforcement. For instance, Mr. Bongino called the placement of pipe bombs outside the DNC and RNC headquarters on January 6th, quote, an inside job.
It was.
Say this was a setup. I have zero doubt, and whoever goes into the FBI, you better get an answer about why. Director Patel, you and Deputy Director Bongino are now leading the FBI. What is the evidence to suggest the pipe bombs placed outside of the DNC and RNC on January 6th were an inside job?
I appreciate the opportunity to discuss Director Bongino's mine record. So many on this committee and the media jettison our 31 years of public service
Can
prior
you
to
answer
taking.
the question, sir?
I'm answering the question. You're questioning the integrity of the deputy director of the
Asking
FBI
you
and
if
mine.
you found
And
any
I'm going to
evidence.
answer the question.
I'm
The pipe
asking-
bomb investigation is ongoing, and I'm not going to discuss the
Ongoing?
details of the pipe bomb investigation. Mr. Bongino was a Secret Service agent for 15 years, a police officer for 5. I served this country in multiple administrations for 16 years. We were also private citizens, and we are now back in government service. And what we have the ability to do is set aside our personal beliefs to deliver the mission of justice for this country, and we're doing it day in and day out. And I find it disgusting that everyone and anyone would jettison our 31 years of combined experience that is now at the helm of the FBI, delivering historic results at historic speeds for the American people.
So you have no evidence?
I got a lot of evidence, and I'll give it to you when I can.
Yeah, looking forward to it. There's a New York Times story this morning about Chris Meyer. As I understand it, he was your personal pilot, at least for some period of time. Mr. Meyer has quite a record himself. Flew over 350 hours as an Air Force pilot on 3 aircraft types in Afghanistan.
Now,
Mr.
listen to what
Jardina,
Patel just said. He's trying to discredit both him and Bongino. Remember, he said that like it's a bad thing.
another former FBI agent, a 1999 graduate of U.S. Naval Academy, commanded 100 Marines in combat during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, participated in several firefights, followed up with 2011 deployment as reservist to Afghanistan, where he interrogated senior Taliban officials. It appears that you terminated the
Pilots don't interrogate, by the way, you lying sack of shit. But you see how he's like, oh, are you discrediting his military service? Are you discrediting his military service? Bitch, you just try to discredit their fucking federal service. You fucking hypocrite. I don't give a fuck if they're veterans. Veterans could be pieces of shit too.
these 2 agents. Why?
I'm not going to get into personnel decisions that we made.
So you're not accountable for your decisions to take people who've served our country so admirably and terminate them without any cause?
That's a one-sided story. Anyone that has been terminated from the FBI, generally speaking, failed to meet the needs of the FBI and uphold their constitutional duties. And you providing a one-sided story from your perch is absolutely disgraceful, because the men and women of the FBI deserve better. And your attack on the current leadership of the men and women of the FBI is equally disgraceful, because now you're attacking the leaders that are our brave SACs in the field who are doing the job that this country needs.
It's
and
disgraceful.
we will continue to do it.
Excuse me, it's disgraceful when Mr. Meyer and Mr. Jardina, who served our country so well, are terminated apparently because of the rants of a podcast.
I don't give a shit if they've got 90 years of combined military fucking service. Doesn't mean they can't get fired from your fucking job. Remember, you just discredited the 31 years of law enforcement for Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. You try to discredit that. But it's okay for the military service people. They got fired. Pilots, by the way, don't do interrogations. So you need to take that fucking name back, or that statement back out.
That is your opinion. It is not a fact.
Well, it's certainly my opinion. I can back up with fact. Let me ask you to explain the situation in Baltimore, if you will. Did you read the story about the termination of the project in Baltimore?
Which story?
764 group.
Sorry. Which story?
Now this motherfucker. Kash Patel's FBI took this group down. Kash Patel. After years of having enough evidence to bring this group down, which Democratic leadership, Democrat FBI, or liberal FBI, liberal Department of Justice, they didn't want to do shit with this group. So you should probably go back and check, because they're getting taken down. taken out.
Before group, the Baltimore agents were investigating. Are you familiar with that?
No, sir.
Well, I'm not going to go into detail. It would take too long to do it. But apparently that this group, 764, a nihilistic, violent extremist group, seeks to blackmail children to perform vile acts on a camera under investigation by Baltimore, which was terminated by you. I'd like you to respond in writing, if you will, as to the circumstances of that termination.
Sure. Our operations against NVEs, as you're referring to, has been historically high, and we've taken down multiple NVE rings, including 764 rings, who are harming children and causing them to be mutilated and
Last
commit
question.
suicide.
Can you explain why you are eliminating the requirements for a college degree for your agents?
I appreciate the opportunity to
College is a scam.
address that. You said in your opening statement, we are reducing the training requirements at Quantico. We are not. We are expanding them. You are referring to an 1811 crossover program because I believe the men and women of places like the DEA, the ATF, and the Marshal Service and the Secret Service who want to work at the FBI should deserve that opportunity in a shortened bridge program, which we provided. We are also keeping the 18-week BFTC as is traditionally being held at the FBI. So we're not reducing any requirements. We are increasing those that we bring into the FBI.
Did you change any of the requirements on college degrees?
We are allowing police officers who have served for a number of years to come into the FBI who did not obtain the requisite college degree to apply to be federal agents because we feel they have the street level experience we need.
Oh. Ow. Hirono. Let's see how her Cash Patel's little interaction go. Hirono.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Patel, just like the rest of the federal government, there have been significant personnel changes at the FBI since President Trump took office. I want to better understand the scope of the turnover and the changes occurring at the FBI. Since January 2025, how many FBI employees have retired, resigned, been fired, or otherwise separated from employment?
I don't understand what
I need a
retiring has to do with it.
We'll get you a number.
What is the number? You don't have it?
How many
Not off the
people
top.
have left the FBI since the Trump administration began, to include retirements? Yo. The second I was eligible for retirement, I submitted my packet. Maybe they just was tired of doing their job. Maybe they just want to go sit back, relax, and drink some mint majestic tea with 2 honeys from Starbucks. Tell them your name's Charlie.
My head, and I want to get you the right number.
Would it surprise you to know that it's probably in the thousands, like 5,000?
I don't think that number's
Well,
accurate.
you don't know.
There's no
Next
way
question.
5,000
How many
agents were
special
fired.
agents or analysts have left or been fired from the FBI since January 20th, 2025?
Say, we will get you the numbers, and anyone that retires is of their own volition.
Yep.
And anyone that is terminated at the FBI, as I've said before, is done so because they have failed to meet the standards and uphold their loyalty and oath to the Constitution.
Yeah, so you say. Next question. How many executive assistant directors, or special agents in charge have left or been fired from the FBI since January 20th, 2025?
Again, people leaving on their own accord or terminations were done by the standards set at the FBI that have been carried out
With this question, I'm getting
consistently.
to the leadership of the FBI, and you don't have that.
I don't know where this bitch got her number of 5,000 have been fired, retired, or left the FBI, because there's no numbers backing that up. There are no organizations backing up what they said.
Sure. Next question. Which field office, division, or directorate has lost the most personnel since January 2025? And
Oh. An email from acting FBI Director Brian Driscoll mentioned that the request encompassed thousands of employees nationwide, with some firings expected to begin as early as January 2025. Oh, of course NPR would put that out. But they don't have any numbers on how many have been fired. Where did she
Do you have
get
the answer to that
5,000
question?
from?
Yeah, actually, every single field office in the country, including Hawaii, has received a plus up of FBI agents because we're pushing them out to the field.
Which is what he said he was going to do.
Okay, so you're telling me that no field office, division, or directorate has lost any personnel since January 20th, 2025? That's your answer?
In Hawaii, there's been a plus up. In every single state that I'm looking at, we have allocated a plus up for field offices across the country so that the FBI can continue
To
the
include
historic
Hawaii.
achievements it's done in these last 7 months. When you're talking about firings, you're looking for a media hit and a fundraising clip, and I'm not going to give it to you.
Get her. Get her.
It doesn't matter under what basis they left. I just want to know how many have left. And I think your testimony is nobody has left. Next question.
Nope,
Which
that's
field-
not my
what he
testimony. You
said.
asked it one time. I answered it one time. You didn't get the answer you wanted for your clips.
Next
You keep
question.
asking it, and I told you I'd get you the numbers, but you can keep asking it.
Which field office, division, or directorate has gained the most personnel since January 2025? You noted that there have been plus-ups, so which offices have received these plus-ups?
The greatest allocation that I believe was given to California and then Florida.
Oh. Oh.
Where were those offices?
Are you stupid?
California and Florida.
Thank you. Director Patel, you often refer to FBI agents as cops. All of us,
Well, they kind of are. They're federal law enforcement. They are cops.
Democrats and Republicans, support the police officers who keep our communities safe. But while our states, cities, counties, and towns all employ police officers to protect our communities, Congress has empowered and equipped the FBI to take on missions that local police cannot, especially taking on terrorists, hackers, and spies.
Okay.
I'd like to assess how well the FBI is able to handle its specialized missions under your leadership. The FBI is the nation's lead federal law enforcement agency
I
for
like his answer.
investigating and preventing acts of domestic and international terrorism. And yet the executive assistant directors in charge of the FBI's national security and intelligence branches were both forced out at the beginning of the year. Who replaced them in those positions?
Excellent qualified personnel to lead the mission of arresting 23,000 violent criminals this
Wait.
year
Are
alone.
the
That's twice
names
as many
of the
as
people
before.
who took the places of
I'm not
the-
going to give
Who
you any
the
names.
fuck
So you can,
cares of who took their places? There's results. I don't give a shit if Hulk Hogan was put in charge. There was results. You know, the one that where you make your money.
me
the
as
people
before.
who took the places of
I'm not
the-
going to give you any names so you can attack them.
Why not?
So you can attack them. I'm
Get
not
her.
doing that. The
You're not
people
gonna
sitting
give
in
me the
those seats
names
are
of-
extremely qualified to handle the job.
You're
We
not
would
gonna
not
give
have
me
the
the names
results.
of
We would,
personnel who
we would
should
not
be
have the
on your
reduction
website.
of
Fine,
violence in the
moving
state
on.
of Hawaii if we did not allocate the
Earlier
resources we
this
did.
year, FBI counterterrorist special agents and investigators were reassigned to assist with immigration
Okay, she keeps saying earlier this year. This happened, this happened, this happened. Guess what? Results. Results. You're not going with the results. You're going with whatever is going to get you that I gotcha moment, which, come on, you're dealing with Kash Patel. You're not going to get him an I gotcha moment.
enforcement. Reportedly, these counterterrorism experts were returned to the jobs they trained for in late January after Iran threatened to retaliate for our strikes on their nuclear facilities. Have those experts remained in the jobs they trained for since that time? Yes or no?
FBI agents' primary responsibility is exactly what they are assigned to do. We always work with our
So since they
interagency part.
returned to their positions,
If you're not
are
going to
they
let me
still in
answer,
those
why don't you
positions?
just do your soliloquy in the 4.5 minutes you have
I
left?
am not asking for a soliloquy. It's just a yes or no. Are those people who are returned to their jobs
It's
still
not a
in
yes
those
or no.
jobs? Yes or
They
no?
never left.
What was that?
They never left their primary job. It is a surge of resources in law enforcement working with the interagency to combat violent crime and reduce
They were
violent
never
crime in
okay, they were never
historic
reassigned to do immigration.
proportions.
That's
Listen,
your testimony.
FBI is FBI. They're supposed to be interchangeable. But like I said, she's looking for this gotcha moment and she can't find it. Same with the fucking previous fuck. Same with Adam Schiff. Same with Cory Booker.
Okay, Director Patel, the FBI is also the lead federal agency for investigating cyber attacks and
Yes.
cyber intrusions, both by foreign nation states and by non-state hacker groups. Since President Trump's inauguration, the executive assistant director in charge of the criminal and cyber branch and the head of the FBI's cyber division have both left the FBI. What are the names of the people who replace them?
Again, you can look it up. You don't need him to answer that question. Your staffers can look that up. But again, hurrah. No one fucking cares about the names of the people that took those positions. Because, again, results. Results. Like I said, I don't give a fuck if it was Chris Benoit. Results.
In those positions?
The cyber branch is one of the most impressive at the FBI. 409 arrests this year, 169 convictions. That's a 42% increase from the same time last year.
It's that
So
branch,
any
Mr.
suggestion that the FBI cyber division is not operating at full capacity and better than ever before, the leadership at the branch is implementing these changes necessary to attack the cyber and ransomware infrastructure operators
You know
from
why
Iran, China,
they're
and Russia.
important? I want to know who has those positions, since they
Why?
people who originally were there
Supremely
are no longer
qualified
there.
individuals have those
Who
positions.
are they?
Supremely qualified
Who
individuals.
are they? What are the names?
You're not
You
getting
don't
them.
know. Special agents who investigate cybercrime were also reassigned for immigration enforcement. Have those expert investigators returned to their duties? Yes or no?
All agents remained on their primary duties while surging to allocate resources for interagency operations to the Homeland Security task forces across this country.
So are you?
You don't
Am I
understand?
what?
See, I'm not getting the yes or no answers. I get all this explanation. So there you go.
No, you get the.
I'm not getting the yes or no. I'm getting an explanations. Wouldn't you want the explanation? That would make whole much more sense than one word answers, because that leaves them open-ended to interpretation.
Work that
Are
the men
you
and women of the
planning
FBI are doing. And
Any
you don't want that.
additional personnel cuts to the cyber division in the future?
The only people that will be terminated at the FBI will be those that violate their oath of office or fail to meet the high standards at the FBI.
Good.
Director Patel, the FBI is meant to be the tip of the spear in combating terrorism against the United States from both foreign and domestic sources. It's also our lead agency in fighting the hackers who target our businesses and critical infrastructure. But instead of a specialized role fighting these kinds of terrorists, hackers, and spies, you have the FBI playing the role of local police and helping with immigration enforcement. I'm going to move on to my...
She keeps saying the same shit. But results matter.
You've been asked some questions about the changes to your hiring standard, and including college degrees and possibly the age. But, one question...
I'm sick and tired of this college degree bullshit. Having a college degree doesn't make you smart. It doesn't. It just remembers you can look stuff up in a book and regurgitate it. It doesn't make you smart. ChatGPT doesn't make you smart. I'm not saying I'm smart, but I'm pretty fucking intelligent for a uncollege educated veteran of the United States Army. It's rare. I mean, about 25% of us, but it's rare. I know 25% is not rare, but when you're 1% of the nation, 25% is a little rare.
I had is
Hello.
that you are now requiring applicants to be able to do a certain kind of pull-ups.
Yes.
Which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
Yes.
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents
So
are
are
being
you requiring
appropriately
these
assessed.
kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to pass the 1811.
You know, I really didn't used to understand the purpose of pull-ups, but I know in airborne school they preach it so you can pull yourself up on the parachutes. But then later on down the line, like why? And I did pull-ups a lot. But then you got to realize FBI agents, if they got to chase somebody, they got to be able to climb walls that are 6, 7 feet tall. I could climb those walls because I did a lot of pull-ups. And when I did those walls, I only climbed up with my fingertips because I had good grip strength. But if you can lift your body weight, it's not hard to climb a wall, right?
11 standards at BFTC. If you want to chase down a bad guy
Excuse me,
and put
the
him in
reason I-
handcuffs,
Why make the physical standards easier? If you make the physical standards easier, guess what? You're not going to get results that you want.
you better be able to do a pull-up.
The reason I ask is that there are concerns about whether or not being able to do these kinds of harsh pull-ups is really required of FBI agents.
Weren't you in the
Doing
military?
one pull-up
Mr.
is not
Patel,
harsh,
I
and there are
am
always
gravely
medical
concerned.
exemptions to that.
I am gravely concerned by the state of the FBI under your control. And in fact, you are willing to take a cut in your agency of almost $500 million. So the FBI is losing dedicated employees, decades of expertise and specialization, leading to loss to early retirements, firings,
Nope,
and reassignments to immigration enforcement or conducting local police work. Thousands have already left.
She has no idea what it requires to be physical fit to create or do some of these jobs. She's been in politics since she was in college. It's all she's ever done. What would she know about physical requirements for any job? Any job.
For as long as you remain as the head of the FBI, I fear the number of departures and summary firings will continue to grow. Mr. Patel, before the vote on your nomination of this committee, I noted that your most significant qualification, this is not just something that I noted, but others, your most significant
Gets this place going.
qualification was your 100% loyalty to President Trump. And I fear that that continues to be the motivating factor in your position as FBI
That's weird
director.
because you
Thank
have
Mr. Chairman.
unequivocal loyalty to the Democratic Party.
Yes. That is an entire falsehood. You can delete my 16 years of government service to multiple administrations all you want. The fact is that I was a public defender. I was a national security prosecutor. I was a House intelligence staffer. I was a deputy director of intelligence. I was a chief of staff to the Department of Defense and the Secretary of Defense. I led the counterterrorism missions for the White House. Those are just some of the jobs I held in my 16-year career. There was no loyalty
Unlike you,
then.
Hirono.
There's no loyalty now to anything but the Constitution.
Senator Brett.
I'm tired of people like her are going to say, oh, I've done my service to the country. I've been in Congress since blah, blah, blah. That's not service to your country, you dumb cunt. You got elected. You got elected.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, I want to start off where we left off last time.
Let's go,
I
Spartacus.
asked you whether you had any knowledge or discussions about removing FBI officials and installing political personnel before you were confirmed to that position. And I wonder, did you then understand or have conversations with the White House about the intentions to do so?
Before I was confirmed,
Yes, sir.
did I have discussions with the White House to remove FBI personnel?
Yes.
No.
So you're saying that you had no discussions with the White House before you were in the position about the removal of any personnel from the agency?
What he said.
As I was preparing for my confirmation hearing, I had numerous discussions involving the type of people that would be employed, and that those that were failing to meet the mark at the FBI would no longer be employed if I were
And I'm
confirmed.
assuming that mark had to do with loyalty to the Trump.
No, it has to do with standards. It has to do with standards.
Administration.
No, you're wrong.
Okay. I'd like to revisit another subject from that hearing. Did you testify, excuse me, you did testify before the grand jury that President Trump had declassified the documents at issue in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. Is that correct?
I don't have the grand jury transcript. That's why I released it. Whatever it says is the best evidence.
You know, that's what you said to Senator Whitehouse, that your grand jury testimony was publicly released. It has not been. In fact, in July, a court denied a news outlet's bid to get that transcript. But the court said quite clearly that you are free to discuss your grand jury testimony. So I ask you again, did you testify before the grand jury that President Trump declassified the documents at issue in the Mar-a-Lago classified document case?
And that is why I took your invitation to work with the department and the court to have that transcript released. And the transcript is the best evidence of what I said then.
So you're saying right now this committee can have access to what you said before the grand jury?
To whatever was released. Under my understanding, Senator, that the Department of Justice
You and I
released...
both understand the law. Let me finish. I understand under Rule 6 of the Federal Rules of Procedure, a grand jury witness, in this case you, is not barred from sharing their grand jury testimony. This is an oversight hearing. This is germane to your integrity and credibility. You know right now whether or not
you just said he doesn't have to say it.
That President Trump declassified.
You literally just said he doesn't have to say it, but now you're trying to force it out of him. I see the playbook they're running.
Documents at issue in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. Why are you refusing to answer that simple yes or no question right now?
Because the premise of your question is inaccurate, and
There is no premise to my question, but trying to get to an order of what is truth or not.
So that's the premise.
How do you know what was asked in the grand jury if you weren't there?
Mr. Patel.
And this is where Booker starts crying.
How do you know what was asked in the grand jury if you weren't there?
Mr. Patel, this is a mockery you're making of this hearing and simple questions.
It's a simple question. If you have
Mr.
a
Patel,
transcript,
during
you can
your
read the question,
nomination
but you don't have
hearing,
it.
you promised that, quote, all FBI employees will be protected against political retribution. When I asked you, are you aware of any plans or discussions to punish in any way, including termination, FBI agents or personnel associated with the Trump administration, you explicitly said under oath that you were not aware of any plans to punish FBI agents associated with criminal investigations of Donald Trump. I don't believe you were truthful. Firing FBI employees based solely on the cases that they are investigating, their case assignments, is illegal, and you know that. A new lawsuit...
Well, looks like Turning Point already got a new CEO. And it's Charlie's wife.
It's been discussed numerous times, filed by 3 FBI officials, alleges that you carried out Donald Trump's campaign of retribution, in quotes, against FBI employees for, quote, failure to demonstrate sufficient political loyalty. One of those plaintiffs has been discussed today, Brian Driscoll. Now, we know 20 years of distinguished service to the FBI.
So he got fired, and now he wants to say it's because of this? Think about what you're saying, you stupid fuck. Oh, his 20 years of service, blah, blah, blah. Again, your partners were trying to discredit their service to the country. You fucking retard.
Before you terminated him. Special agent in charge of FBI's Newark field office, where he operated with distinction. Medal of Valor winner, Shield of Bravery awards. He's a patriot. You terminated Driscoll via a letter dated October 8th, 2025, and in that letter you said that you were firing him pursuant to Article 2 of the Constitution. Well, you're not the President of the United States, and so I'm wondering under what authority you were allowed to terminate him.
That matter is under litigation, and I'm not able to discuss it.
Okay, well, discuss this. Did you have discussions with Stephen Miller about firing this particular person or about his continuance in the FBI?
Not that I recall.
How often do you speak to Stephen Miller?
Frequently on our Homeland Security task forces.
This is what he's supposed to do.
You talk with Stephen Miller about subjects other than Homeland Security task force issues, correct?
I frequently talk to Mr. Miller about Homeland Security task forces.
Has Stephen Miller ever given you his opinions on how to run
I don't know. I
your
trust
agency?
Candace Owens.
Mr. Miller's interagency operations are invaluable to the FBI. That's what we talk about.
So you frequently discuss your job and your responsibilities with Stephen Miller and Pam Bondi, I imagine, as well.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Attorney General.
Understood. Okay. Donald Trump promised to make...
Where's the fucking got you in that? You talked to Stephen Miller and Pam Bondi on issues related to Homeland Security. Yeah, he does. He's supposed to do that. Where's the fucking got you in that?
all safer. You have pushed out senior FBI agents with decades of knowledge and experience. In fact, this is the first time in FBI history that neither the director nor the deputy director have any experience with the FBI. You've shifted the agency's priorities primarily to pursuing Donald Trump's immigration enforcement agenda. According to ICE data, the Cato Institute, which is a conservative think tank, found that 20% of all agents have been diverted from their work to assist ICE immigration enforcement. 20%.
Okay, what were they doing? Sitting in an office, twiddling their fucking thumbs, continuing to get a paycheck? Those are the bitches that are crying because they actually have to get out into the field again. Kind of like your faggot ass who's been sitting up in Congress all pretty, getting rich.
This operation is the work of mass law enforcement who jump out of cars, snatch people off streets at churches, schools, and their jobs and hospitals.
You mean arresting illegals?
Any FBI agents who investigate crimes against children that have been assigned to immigration enforcement?
This is where he tried to get a gotcha and he just gets destroyed.
Yes or no?
The premise of what you say is entirely false.
Have there been any FBI agents who investigate foreign domestic terrorism?
You don't get to say the America is not safer under this leadership.
I am not saying
America is safer because of the work of the FBI.
You're making a presumption of premise.
4,700 children.
Sir,
we have seized 6,000 weapons and 23,000 violent felons have been arrested.
That FBI agents who investigate human trafficking have been reassigned to immigration enforcement. You are not denying that FBI agents who are on the task force...
Cory Booker's another fucking career politician. Get the fuck out of here. These career politicians are a fucking joke.
Fight against Russian oligarchs have not been reassigned. Public Corrections Squad reassigned. People who defend children reassigned. You're not denying that. I've seen you time and time again attack my colleagues' premises of questions as a way to not answer the question. So let me end with this. I believe you have made our country weaker and less safe. I believe that we are more vulnerable to a major event, and I pray to God it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
You've gutted the Bureau of Institutional Knowledge and Expertise.
First of all, Cory Booker doesn't believe in God, so you can take that one out of the things. And he prays for something like that to happen so that they can use it. oh, Donald Trump made America less safer because you have a white nationalist that, was in Utah who was true red that took a shot and tried to take out Charlie Kirk. You mean, yeah, my bad.
You fired or pushed out seasoned FBI officials, many with more than 20 years of experience, and were working on cases that were critical. You've been purging thousands of serious law enforcement officials who spent their careers keeping us safe, only
So can we get rid of career politicians? Right?
to lower hiring standards in order to find anyone to replace them. And shockingly, you admitted in this hearing
That lower hiring standards is the one where they don't have to have a college degree. But he stated that they're already in another branch of law enforcement and it's a pipeline and they still have to go through the training and the physical requirements. All they're listening to is, oh, you don't have to have a college degree. Cory Booker, I'm willing to bet that head-to-head knowledge, I'll win. Especially if you can't look it up.
to Senator Coons that it would take 14 years to fill the vacancies at your agency. Many are the result of your purge. 20% of FBI agents are doing low-level immigration enforcement instead of their mission-critical work. You've disbanded entire task forces that stop election interference, foreign influence, public corruption. And who benefits from this? Well, corrupt people benefit from it. Criminals benefit from it.
Oh, your
Vladimir
guys.
Putin benefits from it. And it really makes me wonder who you're looking out for. It makes me think we can't trust you as a nation.
The party that immortalizes the criminal. The stabbing on the train, Trump's fault. The crime in fucking Chicago, Trump's fault. The crime in New York, Trump's fault. The crime in Newark, New Jersey, where you were a mayor, Trump's fault.
You swear to release the Epstein files, but now you're withholding the Epstein files. You claim that you have a suspect in a serious assassination. Whoops, then you don't have a suspect. You know nothing about
Cory, they did have a suspect. Here's the thing. They ruled him out. The suspect got his due process until they find the right one. What are you advocating for? Just picking a random person saying, yep, this is the guy. He did it. Well, that's kind of what they did with this one. Never mind.
To remove FBI agents
Holy
yet. You're directly
shit.
involved in those plans. In the words of an
Did that
ex-FBI
really come up
official,
to zero?
you are overseeing, and I quote, generational destruction of the nation's premier law enforcement agency. Mr. Patel, in just 8 months, you have assaulted the institutional integrity of the FBI. But I know FBI field agents. I've worked with them in Newark. No matter how truly bad you are, you can't undermine the legacy of agents who fight every day to keep us safe, but you can tarnish the integrity of the agency and undermine the agency's capacity. I believe you're failing as a leader, and that your failure does have serious implications for the safety and security of Americans and our families. We're more vulnerable.
I don't know where he gets this information that we're more vulnerable, that we're less safe. He's getting rid of criminals. It's Democratic leadership, Democratic DAs that release career criminals. 14 times. 14 times, and then he stabs a woman in her neck to death on a train. And guess what? He's going to get away with it. Because he won't be held mentally capable to stand trial. according to judges, that's why he was released multiple times for violent crimes. How is that the FBI's fault? How is that the FBI's fault, Corey? Mr. Lawyer, Mr. Former Mayor of Newark. Pretty sure Newark's not exactly one of the safest cities in the country.
To domestic and foreign attack because of your failures of leadership. I don't think you're fit to hand the bureau. But here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America,
I think he just threatened
Donald
him.
Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this. I pray for you.
No, you don't.
I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you want to say anything?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, Grassley.
That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is my
I follow
time.
you on your social media posts that
It is
tear
my
this country
time
apart.
to address
Bro, Booker.
Oh, you heard Booker.
I follow your X account. You are still trying to tear this country apart. Spartacus. Mr. 26-hour fucking filibuster that did nothing except for make you look like a retard.
You can try all you want
in this country.
to not take
Senator,
responsibility
it is my time.
for what
You
you
had
have
your
said.
time.
Sir, you're
Your
making a
time is
mockery of this
over.
committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
the
know how
people
far
of New
we've
Jersey
come?
It is
tell me
over.
what my
You
time
tell-
is.
Senator-
You can't lecture me.
You can tell me
Sir,
my time's over?
You may be the charge of the
I'm not
FBI,
going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman,
Not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman,
I
point
think
of
you
order.
are.
Senator Booker, I announced at the beginning of this meeting that this back and forth talking over each other doesn't work. And I said if that happened, I asked Patel not to respond, and I was going to give him some time after the senator's time was up to respond. And that's he has the privilege
So it is
to do
Patel's
that
time.
uninterrupted.
Mr.
So
Chairman,
go,
one point of
go
order.
ahead, Mr.
I've
Patel.
watched him talk over us, and you've never once criticized him for us not even being able to get our questions out.
Well,
he has been rude and disrespectful to senator after senator.
And when the senators were not giving him a chance to answer, I didn't stop the senator either. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If the FBI, under my 7-month leadership, were failing this administration in this country, why do we have 23,000 violent felons arrested this year alone? A 200, a double increase from that time last year. Why is it that we have seized 6,000 weapons? Why have we found 1,500 child predators and arrested them? Why have we 300 human traffickers in jail? Why have we found and identified 4,700 children? Why have we seized 1,600 kilograms of fentanyl, enough to kill a third of the American public, a 25% increase alone from last year? 88,000 kilograms of cocaine seized, 7,000 kilograms of meth seized, and that's just on our criminal operations in summer heat. How is it possible that we're taking...
This is what I mean. Results matter. Results matter, Corey. Hirono. Have we gotten to Schiff yet?
8 kilograms off the streets of the cities in New Jersey and preventing the deaths of 607,000 people this year alone, a failure of the FBI and my leadership. How is it that we have counterintelligence arrests already this year exceeding the numbers from the entirety of last year? 33% increase in PRC, 83% in Russia, 60% in the CI space as it relates to Iran, and we haven't even talked about CT, the southern border, the northern border.
Before Senator Cruz, I kind of feel like a broken record today. All this interest in FBI termination, yet my colleagues showed no intent or interest in when my whistleblowers suffered retaliation over the past years, particularly the past 4 years. Indeed, one whistleblower has alleged that Brian Driscoll's insubordination, whether an agent is on a hot button case or not, they ought to be held accountable for misconduct and weaponization. Senator Cruz.
Granted, and that's the thing with Trump, Patel, Bongino, Tucker, Officer Tatum. I don't have to like it. I can disagree. And, well, Cash Patel does have his bad things. The FBI does have its fucking negatives. But you can't deny results. People are leaving. People are leaving. People are leaving. And they have multiple, double, triple percent increases in crime, stopping crime. Results don't matter because you're firing people? That's the stupidest thing I ever fucking heard of. If you can do what they're doing with less people, that means they might have been doged out because they were ineffective and useless and a waste of money. You know, kind of like the ATF.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, I have to say, it used to be that to see theater, you had to go to the Kennedy Center. Now, apparently, you need only go to the Senate Judiciary Committee and see our Senate Democrats berating the director of the FBI, which, okay, it's not, partisan politics is not new in the United States Congress. But what is remarkable is what Senator Booker was berating Director Patel about. He wasn't berating him for failing to do his job, but rather he was furious for Director Patel for successfully doing his job.
Oh, thanks, Ted.
For 4 years, the Democrats under Joe Biden had an open border that undermined the safety of every single American. They allowed 12 million illegal aliens to come into this country, to invade this country.
Oh. Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz. You Israeli cuck. Fuck you. Ted Cruz. You Israeli cuck. Fuck you. But you brought up a good point.
And every single day, Americans were murdered, women were raped, children were assaulted by violent criminals that Democrats released. Now, Director Patel, I found Senator Booker's questioning really bizarre. He asked you, have you reassigned FBI agents from human trafficking to immigration issues? Director Patel?
They coincide.
Are the Mexican cartels that are bringing people illegally into this country engaged in human trafficking?
Yes, sir.
What the hell does it mean to reassign someone from human trafficking to immigration? The greatest human trafficking in the world has been over the last 4 years at our southern border. It is modern-day slavery that the Democrats still defend. They still defend those open borders. Mr. Patel, he also said, did you reassign FBI agents from protecting children to immigration?
Right.
How many children have you found that were victimized by the open borders of the previous administration?
4,700.
4,700. And yet, oddly, I don't hear a Democrat here saying, gosh, thanks for protecting those kids.
35% increase year to date last year.
Oh.
All right, I want to shift topics. And I want to shift topics to what happened last week. Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
I am curious what you have to say about this Ted Cruz, who likes to be a cuck for Israel. Tell me how you really feel about Charlie Kirk in the last month of his life and the revelations he was coming to.
He was assassinated because of his political views. We're living in a time of enormous division and tragically hatred and hatred that manifested in evil that we saw last week. Now, the FBI, working in concert with state and local law enforcement, apprehended what appears to be, in all likelihood, the murderer. And you did so in just 33 hours. So I want to start by just congratulating you and the FBI agents and state and local law enforcement for successfully apprehending the murderer in less than a day and a half. In the wake of that assassination, we have seen far too many people on the left celebrating the assassination. We've seen Democrats, we've seen activists cheering it on. We've seen, tragically, teachers in high schools, teachers in elementary schools, university professors cheering on the murder of Charlie Kirk. You and I both knew Charlie well. He was a good friend. He was an extraordinary man. And I will say there's a great deal of discussion about what to do about it. Under our Constitution, under the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, speech is protected.
Right.
And that's true even for vile speech.
Right.
Someone can stand up.
You hear that, Pam? Hold on. Hold on. You hear that, Pam? It's protected. Even vile speech. From the government.
Say the most hateful thing, and it's protected by the First Amendment. Nazis and Klansmen can march in the streets, and even though their speech is bigoted and horrible and racist, the First Amendment protects it. Conduct, however, is not protected by the First Amendment, particularly conduct that is violent. Violent conduct that is threatening others, that is harassing others, that is injuring, or in this case, murdering others, is most assuredly not protected by the First Amendment. And so I would encourage you and the FBI to focus on conduct. Now, speech can guide you to those engaged in conduct. And I will say one question that I have and many have, and I recognize this is an ongoing investigation, so I don't want you to say anything that would compromise the investigation. But what can you tell us at this point about what evidence there exists of other individuals who may have had prior knowledge of this assassin's plans to murder Charlie Kirk on September 10th?
Generally speaking, we've interviewed numerous people, family members and friends, including the partner, to provide us with a detailed history of the knowledge he may have had, the suspect may have had prior to. We're still mapping out who, if anyone, was involved as an accomplice.
What about all those cars that were in his apartment, leading up to the event? What about those from out of state? Multiple. The 20 people in his Discord server.
Said the investigation is ongoing. We're also speaking to and going to interview numerous individuals online who were part of a chat group that was involved in this assassination. And we're also going to work with our state and local partners out in Utah to find out what community organizations, if any, participated or had any foreknowledge of this information. But it's very much ongoing. I remind everybody that it's not even been a week since Charlie's tragic death.
Is it accurate? It's been widely reported that the assassin's roommate was a transgender man who was transitioning to be female, and it's also been reported that they may have been romantic partners. Is that accurate?
Yes, Senator.
And I assume the FBI is investigating. It has also been reported that there were transgender chat rooms that may have had some awareness of the plan to commit this murder. Is that accurate as well?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
I thought they weren't furry.
It's been reported that there were chat rooms of transgender activists that indicated some degree of potentially of foreknowledge of this murder.
We're still developing that.
Do you have any information the bullet casings had on them both Antifa and LGBT wording on them? Do you have any indication of the source of those engravings and what inspired them?
As to the actual source, we're still developing that.
I want to encourage you in the course of this investigation, absolutely go after anyone who aided and abetted. But I want to more broadly encourage you, follow the money. The violence we are seeing is not purely organic.
Oh, Ted. Ted, you're onto something there. You're onto something there. You're still an Israeli cuck, though.
We are seeing is not purely organic. There is, I believe, significant money that is spreading dissension, that is spreading violence. Antifa. Do you believe Antifa is a terrorist organization?
They are now.
I believe Antifa is associated with a lot of violence in this country. As to its designation, I'll leave that to the appropriate authorities.
So I would encourage the administration to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization, to go systematically after Antifa. They've committed acts of violence all over the country. And the shell casings have multiple references to slogans that Antifa has popularized. I believe there is considerable money funding it. I would note that I've introduced legislation called the Stop Funders Act. Stop Funders Act would add rioting to the list of predicate offenses under RICO. I believe the money should be tracked and prosecuted under RICO. And both the Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots of a couple of years ago and the pro-open border riots in Los Angeles and other cities of this past year.
I get it. I get it. We need to find out where this money is coming from. But can we have a specific warrant to get those? Because if they can just do it for randomly, why can't they do it to me and you? Think about that. Palantir. Holy shit.
I believe there was significant money behind those riots. I'm not the only person who noticed at the anti-Semitic protests and violent protests on college campuses that many of the tents all matched. And
They went to the same store.
I would ask, would it aid your ability to prosecute these matters if Congress passed into law the Stop Funders Act and if rioting was added to the list of predicate offenses for RICO?
Yes.
Talk to me about the efforts of the FBI to go after the funders of the anti-Semitic protests on college campuses, the pro-open border protests in cities, and potential...
Oh, I forgot to make this. Remember, hate speech is free speech to the government until you badmouth Israel. They're trying to make that a punishable offense. Keep that in mind.
LGBT violence. Talk to me about the efforts to go after the money of those who are funding and promoting violence.
As I've always said, Senator, money doesn't lie, and we've been following the money. And so that's what we're doing, issuing lawful process to organizations involved with criminal activity, because the money's got to come from somewhere, and it has to be funded somehow. So we have extensive investigations ongoing into numerous organizations that...
They did subpoena George Soros. So that is a plus. Hold on a second. Who is this? Here we go. Pencil neck.
But the Comey FBI failed to review the evidence at the time. After nearly a decade in the shadows, this information has now come to light thanks to Dr. Patel, or Director Patel. Senator Schiff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, during your confirmation hearing, you made several important commitments. For instance, you told Senator Coons there will be no politicization at the FBI. There'll be no retributive actions taken by any FBI should I be confirmed as FBI director. So let me ask you, very specifically, did you ever take any action to terminate or discipline an FBI agent or
gets
employee
cooked, bro.
in whole or in part as retribution for being part of an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th?
No.
You also committed, you assured Senator Blumenthal, all FBI employees will be protected against political retribution.
You notice how when they do ask him a yes or no question and he does give them a yes or no, they don't want to elaborate after that. But at the same time, he hasn't elaborated when he says yes.
So you're testifying today that you played no role in the firing of even a single FBI agent for political retribution.
None for political retribution.
And if any FBI agent said you did, they would be lying. Is that your testimony?
I'm only speaking to my actions. Everybody is allowed to make their allegations.
Oh,
I
no,
have
these are
not-
allegations against you.
And
so,
I'm-
Mr. Patel, if FBI, senior FBI agents or employees said that you were firing them for political retribution reasons because of the cases they were assigned.
I would say that sounds like a lie and that they're getting kickbacks from, people like you, Adam. People like you that have called for the division of this country, called for violence. Adam.
You're saying they would be lying. Is that your
Anyone that
testimony?
was terminated at the FBI was done so for failing to meet the standards, uphold their constitutional oath, and effect.
I mean, that's why I watch Congress. I like to watch Congress because of the drama sometimes. And that's why I specifically picked this one. This line of questioning.
Effectuate the mission.
Well, by meet the standards, are you talking about meet the standards of protecting the president under any circumstance?
No.
You also guaranteed Senator Blumenthal that every FBI employee will be held to the same, absolute same standard. No one will be terminated for case assignments.
Oh,
Are you
Jake,
testifying today that you never terminated anyone at the FBI in whole
that's
or in
what they're
part?
trying to get at to this. Trying to say they fired all these agents that were part of the January 6th investigation. A lot of those retired and quit. They retired and quit. Why?
Because of a prior case assignment.
No one at the FBI is terminated for case assignments alone.
Well, I'm asking about you, Mr. Patel. Did you, in whole or in part, terminate anyone at the FBI because they worked on the Trump investigation or because they worked on January 6th?
Told you.
No one at the FBI has been terminated for case assignments alone.
Okay, you're saying alone. Does that mean they were terminated in part because they were assigned to a January 6th case or assigned to the Mar-a-Lago case?
Oh, for fuck's
You're being
sake.
very precise here, Mr. Patel. You're saying alone. That means they were fired in part because they were assigned those cases. Is that your testimony?
Absolutely not.
So, Adam, do you see any agents on all three of those cases whose name shows up in all three of those investigations? Adam, is there any correlation between them and those other two investigations? Adam, you should look that up and let me know.
But if you want to keep
Okay,
putting words
well,
in my mouth,
then
go
let me
ahead.
ask you, let's strip away the word alone. Did you terminate or participate in any discipline of any FBI employee in whole or in part because of their work on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th? Yes or no?
Any terminations at the FBI by employees.
No, I'm
since
asking you a very specific
And I'm
question.
going to answer the question, but you don't like the answer because it's the
No,
truth
I
and it guts
want
your
an answer to my
narrative.
question. I don't want an answer to someone else's question. So let me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best part of the hearing is coming up. Enjoy.
Let me just be precise, and I asked for a yes or no answer. Did you ever terminate or discipline an FBI employee in whole or in part because they had been assigned or worked on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th?
FBI
yes or no?
employees are only terminated
Yes
if
or
they
no,
fail
Mr.
to
Patel?
uphold their oaths of
Yes
office
or no?
and duty.
You're not
at the
answering my
FBI
question.
I don't
not
have to
answering my
answer your question yes or no because you're setting up a trap so you can have a media
I'm
narrative.
not setting up a trap.
And I'm not giving it to you.
Unless it's true that you fired people.
People
in
have been
whole or in part
terminated at
because
the
they-
FBI who failed to uphold
You're
the
assigned
standards
to.
that the FBI requires them to
Did
uphold.
you tell anyone at the FBI that all FBI employees who they identified who had worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs? Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
Say that I would remove people for case assignments?
That people that were identified as having worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs. Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
People are not removed
Just
for case
answer my question.
assignments.
Just answer my question. Did you tell that to someone?
People are not removed for case
No,
assignments.
you're not answering my question.
And I would
Mr.
never
Patel,
tell anyone.
Did you tell someone at the FBI that FBI employees identified as having worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs? Yes or no, did you tell someone that?
I would never tell anyone at the FBI that they're being removed for basically their case assignments.
Okay, so anyone who said that would be lying. Is that your testimony?
Anyone can say whatever they want.
No, I know, but you're saying they were a liar.
I'm telling you what I said.
Because this is in the complaint against you, Mr. Patel. So you're saying Mr. Driscoll and others are liars?
I'm not going to address the complaint and the ongoing
Okay, well then let me ask you, have you ever told anyone at the FBI that the FBI tried to put the president in jail and he hasn't forgotten it, and that your job depended on the removal of agents who worked on cases against the president?
No.
Did you ever tell anyone
There's
that?
no way that was said. That's preposterous. Who the fuck would say that in that position? A random person was like, "Yeah, this is what was said." Yeah, you got fired, right? Or did you quit and say you got fired?
No.
Okay. Did you ever tell anyone that you knew these summary firings you were undertaking were illegal, likely illegal, and that you would be sued and later deposed? Did you ever tell anyone that?
No firings at the FBI or terminations were done for anything other than justified
Did you ever
cause.
tell anyone that, Mr.
No,
Patel? Why don't you
no
answer my question?
terminations at the FBI were ever done in my tenure for anything other than failing
Did you ever
to
tell
uphold
anyone
their
that,
oath of
Mr.
the
Patel? Are you willing to
office
answer
or
the question?
The FBI.
I guess
I
you're
have
not willing to
answered
answer the
it.
question. So let me move on. Let me move on to the Epstein files. You said you're the most transparent FBI director in history, so I'm going to put you to the test. In 2024, you were asked by Glenn Beck about Epstein's Black Book. And you said, he asked, who has Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book? And you said, Black Book, FBI.
Director
And
Ray
he said,
Test.
but who? That is, I mean, there's, and you said, oh, that's under the direct control of the director of the FBI.
Director Ray said it himself that the book is on his desk. And he's been, basically in charge of it.
That's what you said. Was that true, Mr. Patel?
I'll rely on you quoting it accurately. I did that a couple
Was
of
it
years
true
ago.
what you represented to Mr. Beck and the president's supporters out there, or were you lying? Was it true that the Black Book, Epstein's Black Book, was in the possession of the FBI director?
The Black Book was in the possession of the FBI.
Okay, so now that you're the FBI director, you have possession of the Black Book, right?
That index has been released.
So you have Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book?
What is known as Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book has been released by us.
And you released it. And let me follow up on Senator Kennedy's question, because he asked you, and I'll be very precise here. You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself? And you said, himself, there's no credible information, none. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And Kennedy, the information we have, again, is limited. And Senator Kennedy said, the answer is no one. And you said, for the information we have. So is it your testimony?
Think about what you just said, Adam. The information that the FBI has, which been in possession of the FBI for over 5-6 years. The information they have available They're giving it away. They're letting you know. They're letting you know. That's why they're so interested in having this list put out now. Because they know it's been scrubbed. And they only left Donald Trump's name in it? Or is he not in it and it was over scrubbed? Pretty sure somebody asked about Prince Andrew.
Today, that in all the Epstein files, that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked no one to anyone but himself. Is that your testimony, Mr.
I never
Patel?
said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic anyone else.
Did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question,
And I
Senator Kennedy's
said
question.
the information that 3 administrations have had access to
I'm
have
asking
made
you-
determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others. I'm specifically
I'm asking
stating
you whether
we
it's
were
your
working on.
testimony today.
Well, you just read
that
it, and I said it
I'm-
10 minutes ago, so let the record reflect my
I just want to
testimony.
make sure there's no misunderstanding because there are victims like Virginia Guifer who have testified otherwise,
Guthrie.
who have said
Guthrie.
otherwise, and you're telling the American people today that the Epstein list is a single name and it's Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we're to believe?
That's not what I'm saying. That's what you're saying, and
Well,
you
let
can
me-
say
let me
whatever
ask
you
Let
want.
me ask you this. When Todd Blanche went to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, she said, but did I think these guys were coming for that? I really don't. If you met Epstein, there's no way that this cast of characters, of which it's extraordinary, and some are in your cabinet, who you value as your co-workers, and you know would be with him if he was a creep or because they wanted sexual favors. A man wants sexual favors, he will find that. They didn't have to come to Epstein for that. And the next question Todd Blanche, the president's former criminal defense lawyer, asked is not who in the cabinet, who are you referring to? His question is, so when's the last time you think you were with Mr. Epstein when he got a massage? So let me ask you, who are those cabinet members that Ghislaine Maxwell was referring to that, that were part of this cast of characters associated with Mr. Epstein? Who are they?
The Deputy Attorney General took the aggressive step that no one else did and interviewed Miss Maxwell for
No, I'm asking
2
you,
days,
who are
and
the
we
ca-
released
who are
the
the cabinet
entirety
members?
of that
Who are the cabinet
transcript.
members?
I do not have that transcript in front of me. You're picking it piecemeal. The American
And-
public can read
let me
the entirety of
ask
that.
you one last question, because you clearly won't tell us the cabinet members associated with Mr. Epstein. Let me ask you one last question. And that is, right after she gives this testimony in front of an FBI agent, among others, she's transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender like herself. Who made that decision and why?
The Bureau of Prisons.
The Bureau of Decisions made it in
Prisons.
Prisons, you
The Bureau of
fucking
Prisons
retard.
decided on their own, without any consultation with Blanche or anyone else, that they were going to suddenly, after this interview, completely unrelated to this interview, completely unrelated to anything she said, move her to a prison not suitable for a sex offender. You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
Or don't they put sex offenders in minimum security prisons all the time? Violent sex offenders?
I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements
Oh,
of
you're not in
inmates.
the weeds?
What I am
The
doing is
most-
protecting
the
this country,
most- the
providing
most
historic
significant
reform,
witness-
and
the most
combating the
significant witness
weaponization of
the
intelligence
Epstein
by the
files
likes of you.
cover-up
And we have
gets
countlessly proven you to
from
be a
your
liar in
administration,
Russiagate, in
and you
January
call that
6th.
being
You are
in
the
the
biggest
weeds?
fraud to ever sit in the
This
United States
stinks to
Senate.
high
You are a
heaven.
disgrace to this
This stinks to high
institution
heaven.
and an utter
And
coward.
I'm not surprised.
Oh. Oh. Oh, Adam. You're not surprised what?
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take.
He's right. He's right.
an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of California. We are bringing historic reform.
Point of order.
But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
you said
take
I'm the
control
most
of this
transparent
situation.
FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
My man.
Quiet. Before I go to Senator.
My man. And guess what? That motherfucker ran to the cameras. Sorry, guys. Kash Patel literally cooked that cocksucker. And it needed to happen. Because Schiff is definitely a known liar. A known perpetrator of spreading misinformation. And Kash Patel just verified it. He's saying what we've all been thinking. Even liberals don't believe the shit that comes out of Adam Schiff's mouth. But they continue to push him up because they don't have to say the retarded shit. They have AOC, Ilhan Omar, and Adam Schiff for that shit. Oh, and
Gentleman from Kentucky recognized for unanimous consent.
Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to submit two sets of documents. The first is a series of emails from the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. They are making FOIA requests to get their own FBI files and not having any success. So I want to bring attention to that by submitting that to the record. The second document that I want to submit to the record, for the record, I know we don't usually read these. This one's not readable. It's completely redacted. For the most part, the first 50 pages. This is actually...
What if that's legit what they actually have? What if that's all that's left? But they're going to use forensics to try to get through it. What if that's what it really looked like? I'm not saying that it is. But what if that really is what it looked like and they're trying to push more and more out after they find it?
The search warrant that was served on James O'Keefe for a diary that he had already given to the government 2 months before. And as it turns out, there were no indictments here, yet he still doesn't know why he was raided, and I think he deserves to know. So,
Without objection.
Thank you.
The chair now recognizes the gentleman from California.
Director, the first time you saw Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files. Did you close the files or keep reading?
I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so
you haven't reviewed all of the Epstein files?
Personally, no.
You're the director of the FBI. This is the largest sex trafficking case the FBI has ever been a part of.
Good job,
Buck stops
Credible
at
Hulk.
the top, and your testimony today is you have not reviewed all of the files.
What I've been doing is been busy providing the safest country this country has seen in modern U.S. history in historic speed, because the men and women of the FBI are given the resources to reduce the homicide rate, to reduce the drug trafficking rate, to reduce the amount of children that are being trafficked and the number of pedophiles.
It sounds like those children being trafficked would
record high.
appreciate the director reviewing the files. You said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right?
The number is a total misleading factor. We have not released anyone's name that we have not released anyone's name in the Epstein files that has not been credible.
Director, could it at
we have
least be 1,000
released
times?
every piece of legally permissible information.
Okay,
you can
so-
characterize the numbers however you want it.
Reclaiming my time, Director. It sounds like if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times. Which
It's not.
leads me-
It's not.
Is it at least 500 times?
No.
Is it at least 100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number, but it's not that.
Do you think it might be your job to know the number?
My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not to engage in political
And that
innuendo
includes protecting
so you can
sexual
go out to the
politics.
sticks and get your
Service
20-second
agents
hit in your
So
fundraising
reclaiming my
article.
time,
They
Director.
keep going, reclaiming
does.
your time because the
Director,
people of California
If
are being
Trump- if the
underserved by
president-
your
If the
representation.
president is not implicated, why not release everything that involves him?
We have released everything, the president and anyone else's side, that is credible and lawfully be able to be released. Your fixation on this matter.
Yo, on the 16th to the 17th, 16th, he was wearing his badge on a lapel. I don't know what the fuck this is.
And baseless accusations that I'm hiding
also
child
Mr. Massey's
pedophiles is disgusting.
interest.
Anyone that says that needs to look at the stats alone and go back to the state of California, who's receiving the biggest surge in FBI resources through my redeployment because the cities of Los Angeles, San Diego, and San
Reclaiming
Francisco
my time,
need it.
Director. Remembering your oath to tell the truth, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in
It's
the
a simple
attorney's
question.
file.
Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein files?
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed.
The question is
painstakingly
simple.
Who
Did you tell?
See, I don't think he understands. Everyone knows. And they've said it numerous times. Yeah. He is in the Epstein files. 100%. To what the extent is what I don't, is that they don't want. Who knows?
Of Epstein, we have reviewed.
The question is
painstakingly
simple.
Who
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out
Yes
if you're
or
going to
no,
mock me?
Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No? A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F?
it
Don't
sounds
wanna
like
do
you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General
violent
that Donald
crime in this
Trump's name-
country and the number of pedophiles that are
Director,
illegally
reclaiming
harbored
my
in
time,
your
Director.
sanctuary cities in
Director,
California?
reclaiming
I'll
my
work with
time.
you on that. Do
Regular
you
order,
wanna
Mr.
work with us
Chairman.
on that?
Director,
I
reclaiming
belongs
my
to the
time.
gentleman from California.
Did you Director,
Constituency.
did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General that
violent
Donald
crime in this
Trump's name-
country and the number of pedophiles that are
Director,
illegally
reclaiming my
harbored in
time,
your
Director.
sanctuary cities in
Director,
California?
reclaiming
I'll
my
work with
time.
you on that. Do
Regular
you
order,
wanna
Mr.
work with
Chairman.
He can't combat that answer. Period. Granted, it's trying to get away from the Epstein files, but they're catching people right now. And we've seen when people go to California and try to get these people, like Sophie from San Francisco, Treat, who tried to meet up and have sex with a minor and an infant. But because she was trans and it was California, they were going to get Alex with harassment. They let that one go. I don't know if there's any update to Sophie. But yeah, fuck you, Sophie.
Director,
I
reclaiming my
belongs to
time.
the gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
Question has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt. Director, did
But why would they have a pin for the mayors? He's law enforcement.
Donald Trump ever say to you, just find and release the entire truth? Don't worry if I'm in it?
The instructions from the administration were to release all credible information, and we have done that.
Did Donald Trump ever provide information about Jeffrey Epstein as an informant?
Donald Trump has not been, and I can only speak for the FBI, an informant of the FBI.
So, Director, you've played this cute shell game where you say you can't release everything because the court.
He wasn't an informant to the FBI. He went to the state attorney in Florida, and he was a witness that helped get this ball rolling.
Has said that it legally is not allowed to be released, but the court calls bullshit. Judge Richard Berman said that when you went to the court, quote, information contained in the Epstein grand jury transcripts pales in comparison to Epstein investigation information and materials in the hands of the Department of Justice.
How would a judge know that? How would a judge know that? That doesn't make sense. Why would they be privy to it?
So let's move on, Director. You wrote a book called Government Gangsters. You identified 20 individuals in that book. You put me on that list at the top of the list. Thank you. My children find it flattering.
Well, yeah, because your children. Your children, do they know about Fang Fang? Do they know about Fang Fang? Maybe that's why you're on top of the list. CCP spy, bro. But it's okay. It's okay.
20 of those individuals have been investigated or have had adverse actions. Director, considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done
No, the question
they failed
again,
to meet the muster in
Director,
their constitutional
I will
obligation.
work on the
No.
audio-visual capabilities.
I'm
of
going to
this room so
borrow
that
your
you can hear me.
terminology and call
I'm
bullshit
reclaiming my
on your
time.
entire career in
I'm
Congress.
reclaiming my
It
time,
has been
Director.
a disgrace to the American
Director, I'm
people.
reclaiming my
You
time.
can reclaim your
No, you
time all you
recuse
want.
yourself.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak this way? Mr. Chairman, would you give
recuse yourself, Director?
The gentleman has no time
Mr.
to
Chairman, would you
recuse.
admonish the witness not to insult members?
That's why it's different. Senate and House. Of course Jim's gonna let this go. My man. My man. Jim, do you get any money from AIPAC?
Gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, just
committee will remember.
Quick point of order. Could the gentleman be extended an additional 20 seconds to complete his thoughts, since the witness decided to interrupt him continuously?
And the witness will be able to respond if he wants. We'll make sure
Thank
he has
you.
time to do that.
My question is, will you, Director, recuse yourself, yes or no, from investigating or making decisions about the 60 individuals, including myself, that you identified as government gangsters? Yes or no?
Time of the gentleman has expired. The witness may respond if he would like.
And the answer was no, as I heard.
Correct.
Okay.
If fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of...
Oh, that's totally not what I was trying to do. Give me a second. Let me see how much Jim Jordan gets from Israel. God damn it. That's not Jim Jordan. Oh. Oh. Oh, Mr. Jim Jordan. Also a recipient of AIPAC. $47,000 worth, but still, that's money. Money to push the agenda, maybe? No, there is an agenda. But anyway, let's get into these text messages. And, we're going to let Benny take this one away. Yes. Yes, ma'am. It sure is.
liberalism.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. Now...
What's up, guys? Spenny. There's a famous scene in the series Breaking Bad where Walter White, the guy who breaks bad, is on a recorded line with his wife. Now, he's had his cover blown. He's the kingpin of this massive drug empire that he was co-running with his wife. They were both in on it. Walter White knows that the line is recorded, and so he decides to absolve her of all blame by attacking her, screaming at her, shrieking at her, threatening her, saying he's going to kidnap their children, that she was the good guy and he was the bad guy.
Oh.
Knowing that that's going to be put into the record and it's going to save his wife.
Oh.
Kind of the beauty of the series is that you end up rooting for Walter White, even though he's technically the bad guy. Well, the point is that this is an operation to save his wife when everything's already broken and destroyed. And that's what many people are saying about Charlie Kirk's killer and these mysterious texts that are out with his boyfriend. I got to tell you, we had a breaking news read yesterday where I just kind of read these and we're like, well, a little convenient, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if AI wrote text messages in order to absolve a single party in a dual party crime. It is bewildering to me to think that the boyfriend, the transgender boyfriend of Tyler Robinson, knew nothing about this. But that is conveniently what the text messages relay, almost in a perfect timeline and cadence. It has many people questioning what's going on here exactly. And why would these text messages be written in a specific way, the specific timeline, in the most stressful moment of
What was really starting to pay attention to was when, like I said, those two fucking reporters, commentators are like, oh, this is such a gushing love letter, and he was protecting his love because they were coming for him.
This individual's life. You're being hunted by every federal authority on earth, and you're here writing like sonnets and Shakespearean poems to your transgender lover. It seems staged. That's what many people are saying online. The messages that you can read were not released with their timestamps.
That's what I was also
the dates
questioning about.
But what it does is it absolves the transgender boyfriend of literally every single step of the crime. First, it absolves the transgender boyfriend of knowing about the crime. Then knowing why he was engraving bullets. Really? You're there. Your partner is sitting there engraving bullets in his spare time, and you don't have any questions about it. Then it goes into like the plot of the crime. This is apparently between Charlie Kirk's killer and his transgender boyfriend. And then a long conversation about like his grandfather's gun and the cost of the scope and so on, and the memes. And all of it effectively saying, I take full blame, you knew nothing.
Just curious.
Now, this doesn't stop ABC News from gushing over the texts, saying that the texts were very touching in a way that many of us didn't expect.
Who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances.
Oh, it's very precious. It's very touching. Matt Walsh, I'm leaning very strongly towards the theory that this text exchange was scripted in a way that to absolve the boyfriend.
Confused.
It's almost exactly what Walter White did.
Did I see this first?
At the end of Breaking Bad, it feels like a strategy cooked up from watching too much TV. Text message between Robinson and his roommate. Remember how I was engraving bullets, he says? The roommate knew.
My love.
It seems extremely faked. It seems like they were sent, like almost like they had pre-typed them. The most plausible and sensible theory isn't that the FBI made up the text messages and released them, but that the killer and his boyfriend constructed a highly scripted text conversation as an alibi for the boyfriend. I don't know that to be the case, obviously, but it's a highly plausible scenario. We do know that Tyler Robinson was a high IQ individual, a high IQ operator, and that Tyler Robinson is somebody who scored off the charts in his SATs and ACTs. I see that the FBI has taken to writing fan fiction. Young gay men talk to one another like this. Half of this is in cop speak. Interrogated, squad car, retrieve it, swept the spot. Why does he address multiple loose ends in this convo with significant other unprompted, and expressing that he didn't want him involved? Not good at this. I will have left no evidence except for the note that I wrote you in confessing my crime and all these text messages laying it out in meticulous detail for everybody to find and convict me. Okay. People are saying it's very strange. This is not normal conversation between two people, especially not two 22-year-olds. I mean, my old man, for real. Kids
I don't think I've ever called my dad that or my.
Either the shooter staged this with his boyfriend to absolve him, or a third party wrote it. What do you think? Near the end of Breaking Bad, Walt steals his baby. He calls Skylar. He knows the phones are being monitored. The house is filled with law enforcement. He immediately starts yelling at her, saying how it was all him and threatening her. Basically saying, you knew what I'd do if you ever betrayed me. One of his final acts was out of love to clear her name and then blame it himself. Those are these messages to Charlie Kirk's boyfriend feel like a desperate attempt to go down with the ship alone.
I have to double check Candace to show. I think she's trying to talk to this.
I put the alleged text message exchange and his lover into ChatGPT and asked if it seemed real. ChatGPT says the texts are most likely fabricated.
Oh.
Too detailed and too incriminating to be real, according to AI. Goodness gracious, look. There it is. Stylistic mix, slang plus exposition. Narrative flow leans towards AI-assisted creation. It's fabricated either by a human writing a mock transcript for dramatic effect. You know, here's a good question. Did the transgender boyfriend have access to both phones? You know, phones are tracking devices. You know, were the phones found on Tyler Robinson? Seems like a normal, logical question. Try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I really have a hard time believing the short text exchange of the alleged shooter. Here we go. This is great. This is what this really short text exchange does. He makes his confession. He confirms the location of the weapon, confirms the type of weapon, confirms it's wrapped in a towel, confirms his motive, exonerates the decoy.
That's a weird word to use. But remember, George Zinn, pedophile, charged with CSAM, about 20 images.
George Zinn admits the bullet engravings. Confirms the wardrobe change. Confirms how long he's been planning it. Discloses the existence of the location. Now destroyed pre-written confession note. Randomly tells his boyfriend that his dad is a diehard MAGA, as if he wouldn't already know this, given the nature of the relationship.
Very true.
Right. Like, again, seriously. And is worried about his dad, grandpa, being upset if he doesn't come home with the rifle. Not the fact that he used it to commit a murder. Not to mention 22-year-old terminally online Zoomer using phrases like squad car, drop point, swept the area, my vehicle, till I died of old age, my old man.
My kids never use that language.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it. This is the most convenient confession and accounting of events in human history. Many people are responding saying to this post saying, yeah, this looks like this doesn't look right. I think I got away with it and didn't leave any evidence. So let me text you all of the details about the crime and leave a perfect digital paper trail for my guilt. Right. High IQ autist casually incriminates himself in text and communicates exactly what crime he just committed, detail by detail. I do find it strange that he is so long-winded here in these text messages and so detailed, and yet has no digital footprint, just a couple of like blurbs here and there on Discord. Really? I showed this to my 21 and 23-year-old sons, and they said, no one they know texts like this. Mom, this is how you text. Do 22-year-olds who text other kids like this? They don't use complete sentences or correct punctuation. Prosecutors released the official text messages. Which part feels totally planned and scripted to you? Many, many people are saying this. I'm on the team. I think the texts were genuine because I've spent years watching autistic shut-in Redditors talk to each other. Text chain with boyfriend way too on the nose strains credulity, says Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon has said he doesn't believe this is real.
We're going to have to get a lot more information here. And we're going to play the cold open, and then later I'm actually going to play the text messages between the assailant, the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk, and his roommate / lover. And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was in the Writers Guild as a screenwriter. I'm just not buying it.
I'm not buying it, says Steve Bannon. I can't be the only one calling BS here, can I? Like, he laid everything out perfectly in an effing text. Do criminals really do that? I mean, you do realize that
Sometimes.
you get a phone. You know, these are iMessages. These are very unsecure. Phones can be hacked. Your messages can be hacked. Your cloud can be hacked. Apple has access to all of these. The feds can subpoena Apple and get them all. Like, so you're just gonna like lay. So you've committed this allegedly this perfect crime. You've gotten away with it now. Nobody knows who you are, and you're just gonna like lay it all out there digitally. You're just gonna tell everyone. If you were planning on escaping
You know what's
and
funny
living
though?
till old
If you
age,
look at some of the images they have of this guy, you know, the original image, oh, it's kind of blurry, we can't see it. But through the magic of AI, we're able to find this guy.
as Tyler Robinson allegedly says in the text, then why are you even telling them at all? Why are you telling your boyfriend at all? I thought that I would die of old age. But so that's contradictory right there. You mean to tell me that everything discussed here was not previously discussed with each other, considering they were in an intimate relationship? This looks like a cover-up. Nobody talks. It's much detail via text message with somebody they're in a relationship with already.
Especially
I murdered
that
him,
short
and
after
it was
the incident.
premeditated, but I will have left no evidence. He messages his roommates in plain, unencrypted, discoverable text. Suspects literally sat through a court hearing that referenced said text
wouldn't
messages and
you
didn't
think
say
somebody like him would have, I don't know, Telegram?
a word. No 22-year-old text like this. Smart guy in the top 99% of all standardized test metrics. Didn't know text would be pulled. I find this so hard to believe that the boyfriend wasn't in on this and that those messages weren't staged. Maybe I'm tinfoil insane. Grok, create a text exchange to make me look like the lone gunman. That's exactly right. Yeah. Goodness. The real author of the text message. Vehicle. Vehicle. That's right. Like, who says that? Yeah. I'm saying it's strange. I don't have any proof one way or the other. Well, when we were reading it, it's like, it does really sound like a movie plot, doesn't it?
He's just saying. And a lot of people are saying the same thing. There's no way that this could be the guy. It could be. Same with Zen. Same with the boyfriend. Same with the Discord members. Same with, Antifa throughout Utah that radicalized this kid. Remember when fucking Destiny was like, he went to 6 months of remote college learning. How could that technically fucking, what's the word he used? Radicalize him. If you actually cared to pay attention, Destiny, some of the interviews with people that went with him to high school, said he was one of those Reddit nerds. Or Reddit nerds. And pretty sure Reddit, you see some fucked up shit there. Some fucked up groups.
At least a majority of the...
I'm going to start playing this. I got to use the bathroom. So, Steven Crowder. We're going to end with Steven Crowder.
idea that political violence is more prevalent on the right. You heard Amy Klobuchar cite it, and you heard, well, I can't remember who else did it during the hearing yesterday, but you've seen this circulated everywhere. And this comes from a couple of sources. I'll have to kind of parse through one here. There's a Cato study that people are citing. There is one from The Economist, I believe. And there's one that was at NIJ that the left is saying was removed because it pointed out that right-wing violence was more prevalent, when the truth is it was removed because it was inaccurate. So I won't be addressing that one. The left right now knows better, but they are trying to lie. It's what we used to call, what we should still call, propaganda. There is more right-wing violence than the left, and they'll even show you a chart. Okay, I will prove to you right now that it's bullshit. Let me show you what's not on this list. What is not included whatsoever as leftist ideologically motivated violence. All of the violence after the 2017 inauguration. 200 people arrested, far more crimes committed. In case you've forgotten. None of this included in your chart.
Burning cars and smashed windows. A small group of protesters dressed in black, their faces covered, armed with hammers and bricks.
None of this is included in the stat being.
He brings up a good point. Underreporting of statistics. But from my memory, when I think of political violence that got into the realm of physical, like I said, I think of Rand Paul, Steve Scalise, Gabbard down in Arizona, Donald Trump. Trying to remember last time we heard a Democrat that. Oh, don't forget the Supreme Court Justice. Oh, yeah, those two Democrats up in Minnesota. You're right. But that was due to Democrats. Tim Walz. Hello. And I believe they're holding that special election to fill those seats probably, I think it was 2 days ago.
Circulated. This is not left-wing violence. It is not. It doesn't exist.
Today, and more than 100 people arrested.
That is not political violence, according to the stats that you are hearing parroted from the left right now. Why?
Oh, and let's get this thing out of the way. You see Oath Keepers and shit like that marching down the street. You see Proud Boys and shit marching up and down the street. Remember one thing. There are right-wing groups that march the street. The real right-wing extremist group, Patriots Front. That's the one that's fucking up all these groups. It's Patriots Front.
Why? Because all the charges were dropped. So they didn't include that. All the charges were dropped. Okay. What you just saw was not political violence from the left. Let me give you another one. Do you remember this one? This is not included. And I wanted to laser in on this because I don't think it could be any clearer. As a matter of fact, I don't think you get any cases of more clear political violence, and it comes from the left. Remember the Trump supporter in Portland, Aaron Danielson? He was killed by a member of Antifa. The man's name was...
He's going to bring up a really good point. All these crimes that were committed that could have been considered political violence, but they weren't. I wonder why.
Michael Rhino. And before you run the clip, he was shot point blank dead in the street. Why do we know? Because we have video evidence and he admitted it. And he was shot dead point blank in the street. Why? Because he was a Trump supporter. How do we know? Because it was said on camera. For those who don't remember, what you are about to see, according to the charts, according to the methodology, is not political violence. It is not included. We got a Trump supporter here, bang, bang, dead. Not counted as political violence. Any of you want to trust your institutions? I can explain to you why, too, and the method and why it's fraudulent. I don't want to, though. If anyone out there tells you actually more violence is coming from the right wing, you can say, yeah, but hold on a second. The guy who was shot point blank dead in public for being a Trump supporter exclusively was not counted as political violence. So I don't trust any of it. That's valid. That is the only argument you need to make. But there's more to it. Of course, the database only counts white on minority hate crimes as political. Black on minority is not counted, considering when you see how much political violence was committed from black Americans, for example, against Asians. If you look at many of these studies, they don't include, for example, you'll see that chart from The Economist, 2020. Left-wing violence, non-existent. Summer of Love, didn't exist. Didn't exist.
Unbelievable.
It would be like saying there's very little Islamic terrorism because here's a chart. By the way, we excluded 9/11. You still would have plenty, by the way.
So
there's a reason for the
makes sense when they keep saying the right commits more political violence than any other side in the past 20 years. Kind of like COVID numbers. Kind of like crime statistics for the big cities. They cook the numbers.
Unholy alliance of the left and Islamofascists, that's because they both largely want to eliminate the same group of people, Western white Christian men. The vanguards. Those at the post, protecting our civilization. They both want to take that group of people out. Also, any violence in a lot of these, depending which one you're using, any act of violence committed against government at all is considered right-wing because it must be anti-government. You have some of these that actually, I've looked through them, include Antifa violence as right-wing violence. Jeez. But none of that matters. None of that matters because the 200 arrests and the thousands...
Antifa is predominantly white, and that a good majority of Antifa's parents are conservatives.
Of actions that you just saw after the inauguration of violence, they were not counted among left-wing violence because charges were dropped. Well, why do you think charges may have been dropped? And the man who was shot point blank dead, we have a Trump voter here, or supporter. We have a Trump supporter here, bang, bang, dead, not political violence. It's that simple. And those are the same people telling you, don't trust us. We're not authoritative. Don't trust the Nashville Manifesto. By the way, some of these places don't include the Nashville shooting as political violence.
Oh, of course not.
I believe Cato or Reuters said it's borderline. Well, let me explain something else to you. It's not borderline. And the only reason it can be argued that it's borderline is because when the police were caught with their pants down and a comedy show had to get you pages from the manifesto that clearly expressed an ideology after we were told that there was not. They said, well, we don't, okay, it's not. First they said we were lying. Then they said, well, yeah, but it hurts the families for this information to get out. But before that, they said, this is a random act of violence. It's not politically motivated. It's not to kill cisgender Christians. It's not to target people of a certain political, ideological, religious persuasion. Think about that. The same people who want you to believe us that we are liars. When we are 6-0 with investigative, 7-0 if you want to consider election night, when we called states and other people didn't. Can't do it without your support. Please do consider joining. $99 a year, you get this hand-etched mug. Not only do you get 100%.
2019, but it never happened. But remember, the media is saying that, they're not left wing. They're not what's the fucking word I'm looking for? They're a political move, not political. They're an ideology. They're an ideology.
More show, and you get it Friday. You get it all ad-free. You get all these other shows, but none there. The people who leaked the DOJ. Story about the engravings on the bullets. We were tarred and feathered as lying that there was no evidence of it. Now you see it. Mm-hmm. Who's the liar? The people who leaked the Nashville Manifesto? We were tarred and feathered as lying till they begrudgingly admitted it. And the FBI said they would investigate us, and the mayor said he would sue us. Who's the liar? Us? Those people? Or the people who told you, yeah, there's more violence on the right. The man shot point blank exclusively for being a Trump supporter in cold blood. That's not political violence. Who's lying to you?
Oh, dude.
It's a comedy show.
We have to do the serious work. And then we get called out for it by the ATF. It's not nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Subpoenas are not what friends do to one another, okay?
That's not what friends do.
No. Jeez.
He was never my friend. Now, you know who else is not my friend, but is a friend of the show? I don't know why. Senator Mazie Hirono, who was grilling Kash Patel yesterday,
this is
in acknowledging for the first time that there are biological differences between men and women, grilling Kash Patel over the concept of pull-ups at the FBI.
You are now requiring applicants to be able to do a certain kind of pull-ups, which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents
So are you requiring
appropriately
these
assessed.
kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to pass the 1811 standards at BFTC.
Crying about.
Think about it for a second. That's what offends the left.
Yeah.
What offends me is cold-blooded murder. That's me, Mr. Traditional. Here to talk about it more, I believe, is Senator Hirono herself.
Yeah, she's calling in from a gym, I guess.
Well, then bring her on. Senator Hirono, can you hear me and see me?
Yes, Stephen. And first, I must ask the following question.
Mm-hmm.
Since becoming a legal adult, have you ever tried to have sex with a woman with or without consent?
No, Senator. We've been over this many, many times.
That actually was a question she would ask everyone for a while before she started questioning them, especially when it came to, obviously, Trump's people.
I wanted to ask you about your conversation with Kash Patel, though, yesterday.
Oh, were you jealous because I was talking to another man?
No, Senator.
You don't have to lie to me, Stephen.
I'm not lying. I wanted to ask about the physical requirements for the FBI agents.
Well, I can attest under oath that I would like to get physical.
No, Senator. I meant the pull-ups.
I'll pull my shirt up for you, Stephen.
No. God, gross. No, you had a problem with pull-ups, the exercise.
Oh, yes. I'd much rather do pull-downs. Your pants.
Oh, no.
Aloha,
No. That's enough.
Okay, my real problem is with pulling out.
Stop it.
Of my vagina.
I don't want to hear this. I'm never going to sleep again. It's been tough enough, Senator. Please stop.
Okay, well,
Please.
Obviously I was just kidding. But the fact that you insinuated that you would or would not have sex with me is alarming.
What?
I'd like to talk about my comments to Kash Patel in the oversight hearing yesterday.
Finally. Okay, yes, please. What questions do you have for Patel?
I asked him if he would make a promise to me and the rest of the committee that he would make a commitment to be completely transparent and release the Epstein files in full.
Fair. Did he?
Yes, and I just sent the files to you right now.
I'm going to regret. God, Tim, cut it. No.
It's a picture of my boobs.
No,
I'm
Tim, cut it.
horny.
Stop it. Stop. What? I don't even want to read the transcript.
You're so disgusted. Hey, listen, you fell for it. It's on you. You checked.
She's a sitting senator.
I don't care.
It's unbecoming.
Hirono, like
She
I
sent
said,
me a
is an
dick
ex-career
pic. Yeah,
politician. Like, legit.
The weird part is it was of Anthony
Straight out of
Weiner. I don't know how
college.
she got it.
Women can do that.
He circulates it to everybody. Surprised it wasn't Swalwell, considering her origin story. What was I going? Well,
Hirono's
Nick,
Japanese,
but
not
before we go to Sam Hyde's
Chinese.
monologue, which, by the way, can't recommend enough. The guy did a great job. You were talking about this. I mean, I remember you didn't want me to talk about it. I was in my old studio in Grand Rapids, a house, by the way, that was doxxed, and I had a terrorist who tried to take my life there. I was saved by a fan who called the local precinct in East Grand Rapids. But I remember you didn't want to talk about it that much because you didn't want to inspire like more copycats. I think now you can talk about it. You were at a comedy club.
Yeah.
And you said there was a striking similarity to what happened with Charlie Kirk, and I've been through something similar. Tell the story for people who might be new.
Well, yeah, not as far as level of violence or severity, but after a show, I went down to the front of the club.
I think that's all I wanted out of that clip. Probably should have clipped it. And YouTube hid one of the videos. I wonder why. That's fucking strange. Alright. Went over a pretty good variety of stuff from local not local, but news, congressional hearings, people's thoughts on, well, you know. And then, I don't know, retarded people, retarded ideologies. And why is it an issue that women of the FBI should do pull-ups, but you don't complain that women in the military do pull-ups? I mean, the Army women, not so much, because for some reason they don't really focus on that shit. I did. So I made sure motherfuckers could do pull-ups. But the Marines, those bitches can do some pull-ups. Yeah. That's pretty much all they do in Paris Island. Or whatever the other fucking place is. Where do they send the females? Actually, it should be co-ed now, right? Don't know. So I'm trying to do less and less of the Charlie Kirk ones because obvious reasons. But if there is something that I feel like we're going to talk about, we will. We will. We're going to continue to monitor congressional hearings. I don't really think there's any of note happening today. Let's see what's going on right now. I know I missed notifications on something. Oh, Mike Johnson. Fuck you, Mike Johnson. Yep, that's the only thing I missed today. But anyway, it is Thursday. I ain't got a job. Neither does Jimmy Kimmel. Friday Eve. We went over a good variety of things, and there's more to come. More to come. Because I'm always monitoring. Unless I'm out in the backyard touching grass. I need to go cut my natural garden so I can burn the stuff now. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not telling y'all how to think. Because that'd just be fucking stupid. And that would make you, you know, one of the many, many, many people that we've talked about today. Because it would just be easy for someone to tell you how to think. But present the information. You do your own interpretation. That's what everyone else does, right? It's all about the interpretation. So I'm just telling you to think. It wouldn't hurt. Sometimes it hurts. I realize some people need to go take an ice bath after trying to think for more than 15 seconds. I get it. If you need a break, you need a break. Better yet, what I want you to do is I want you to get a spray bottle before every show. Just fill it full of ice and a little bit of water because it's going to melt. And then whenever your brain starts to really, really hurt after like 13, 14 seconds, spray your hair. Spray your head. It'll do wonders for you. I promise. Try it. You might like it. Be easier if you're bald.